for the second episode, the Excite Mace Wad episode. Hooray. I don't know how to lead in. You do it.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Cheers for part 2.
Well, it's Macy's turn, so I'm going to mentally check out. But I'm kidding. I've actually been very, very, very excited for today. I'm excited to hear about you.
I'm pretty amped. I've thought about it nonstop. And Amber, I need you to know something. Both Charlie and me, both of us, and it wasn't even my chart reading, it was her chart reading, but both of us were so fucking cashed after that last. In a good way, but like our brains were like running out of our ears.
It's so much information. Like you just feel like you have the dumb after. Like
for sure.
It's like, oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like we marked at each other, and that was pretty much our conversation was just like, whoa. Oh. Nah, yeah. It was a good time.
Also, what I think is funny and I think needs to be said before we go in is she said, dude, I'm preparing myself to get told that I'm an arrogant asshole, or this is why I'm such an arrogant.
This is why. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, dude. Behind. I was like, she was so gentle. It was such a gentle I was like, even the like bad things were kind of like in a very gentle way. I was like, it's chill. And she's like, I know. I just feel like it's going to be gentle up until the point she tells me why I'm an arrogant asshole.
And then I'll just nod and like, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. She's like, I'll just accept it.
I even like for the occasion brought my punch me mug. Like purely for the occasion. So I'm ready.
Anything you don't agree with, you can just hold that up to the camera.
Just fucking punch me then.
No, nothing in your first introduction reading is ever too harsh. If you ever book a shadow reading, that's a different story. But intro, we keep it.
Dude, I'm so ready for that shadow. So before we begin, once again, hit us with your info. Who are you? What do you do? And where can the beans find you?
Absolutely. So I'm Amber Chaplin. I'm here in Ontario, Canada. I'm an astrologer, tarot card reader, life coach, and witch. You can find me on amberenergyservices.com or on Instagram at Amber Energy Services or on Facebook just at Amber Energy because Facebook's a dick. So
Facebook's a dick.
Facebook's a dick. No bitch on Facebook. I do have something also I'm very excited about. So while I did not peek at my chart or anything like that, but in the past days I didn't even try because I'm going to convolute the hell out of it. One thing I did do though is that I did talk about it a lot in depth to Hunter. But here's the thing. So Hunter and I were born 2 days apart. But he was born in a different state. However, so our top 3, 2 out of the 3 are the same, but our difference is the moon. So he's an Aquarius sun, Leo rising, and he's also a Leo moon. But that's the only difference. And I just was hoping that we could just a little baby touch, just like a little nibble on what a Leo moon means, because that's like our only difference in our top 3. And it was curious. I was like, oh, you have a Leo moon. And I'm curious about what that means.
I can definitely speak about a Leo moon because I have one as well. So it's the moon I'm probably most well versed on.
Perfect.
Personally, I think it's a great placement. Not biased.
Spoken like a Leo moon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it takes the traits of Leo. Whereas when we look at like the Leo sun, which is like Charlie, and it's like your core identity, kind of who you are in general. And then Macy, yours, which we'll get into, the Leo rising. This is how you present yourself. This is how you come across and how you view life. A Leo moon is more internal because the moon is more private. So when you're taking the Leo into the emotion in the moon, it's like Leo moons are happy to be center stage in the home, but not necessarily out in public. We love to be the center of attention within our 4 walls with our loved ones. That's our stage, is like our home with our loved ones. We can perform, joke, be the center of attention, no problem. But like if you thrust us out necessarily into the world, we might not behave the same way.
Charlie, I've had a good time watching Charlie's smug face down on the bottom.
No, it's just so fucking Hunter, dude.
Yeah, like no problem. And that's, we like to when you take like the big-hearted Leoness, like that warm energy, and you put it like in the moon, which is the soul, like that Leo energy is really focused on who's the closest to you, how you approach relationships. The moon has a lot to do with relationships. So, within your relationships, you might, take things or react to things in a very Leo way. Like, we can be very stubborn, for sure, very fixed in our emotions, for sure. But that's fascinating. You guys have the same rising sign, which I find
and it displays in us very differently. And that's why I'm very excited to get into the Leo rising part, because I can see, like, from what teeny bit, like, I'm imagining I know about it, I can see it fitting for both of us, but it does display a bit differently. And I think that I'm very interested to get into that.
And did you check like the Mercury, Venus, Mars placements as well? Or did you just look at the big three? He
has, okay, I meant to screenshot it, but I have more Aquarius than he does, I remember, placements. And he wasn't quite as nearly as concentrated in that 6th house. So he was a bit more spread out. So I kind of just remember how the map looked, and it was a bit more sprayed, like it didn't do the Archer thing. That
all your oppositions, yeah. All your oppositions. Because all that can change too. Like if his sun is in a different house, for example, or if he has planets in the 1st house. Because remember last time how I was talking, when you have a planet in the 1st house, it can be very more apparent because the house of self, it's your rising house. So, for example, my Leo moon, people often guess I'm a Leo because my moon is in the 1st house. So it's not as private as most people's moon signs are. Usually tell how I'm feeling by looking at me. Whereas if he had a moon in the, let's say, 12th, like you do, very private. It's the hardest one to crack into. So the houses that the planets are in can very much not modify the nature of the planet, but how it articulates out into the world.
I'm so sorry. Charlie's cracking me up. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun time watching her affirm everything that you say with her facial expressions. They're excellent. I love it.
I already told Mace, I was like, I'm going to have to struggle so hard to just shut up this whole time. So I feel like it's all just going to burst forth from my face.
Did you pull up Clark's Big 3?
Do what?
Did you look at Clark's Big 3?
I didn't. I know he's a Sag. That's all I know. I didn't look.
Yeah. Well, and Hunter surprised me. Like he still had his shit, and because I was like, man, I don't think we still have it. And he like still had it on his phone, like for 1 week, because we found it a long time, like a good while ago. Like, man, our shit's similar because we looked it up, and he had like screenshot it, and I was like, yeah. So we looked through it all.
Didn't you tell me a story about how when y'all very first installed it, he was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, except the Leo moon. He was like, I don't know about that. And I thought it was funny because I was like,
Leo moons are very, we have a very hard time sometimes accepting criticism about ourselves. Like, I remember the first time I read the description of a Leo moon and I was like, I don't think I'm like that at all. Dramatic flare, stomp out of the room.
And it's like, exhibit A.
Yeah. And then it's
hair flip.
Oh. Right. Very dramatic within the house. Like, not dramatic. Let me rephrase that as a Leo moon, because we get pegged with that fucking word so much. Enthusiastic. I like
fair. Fair. Yeah. I actually think that makes a lot of sense. We talk about, and Hunter, he's we're very different in like our expending of kind of like creative energy and new, like when we discover something new, like I'm a real slow burn on stuff, but when he discovers something new, like a new hobby, it's his living, breathing existence, you know?
throw yourself into it and you're like, oh my God, did you know this? Did you know this? And
Yeah,
you're just
he gets in there and then he kind of burns out sometimes, like burns out bright, you know?
fire. It is a fire moon. Okay. It's fire.
See, that's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to have to smugly retell all of this to him later today.
Oh yeah. Do it smugly and tell me how he reacts.
Yeah.
I'd love
yeah, anytime he does something, that's that Leo moon coming out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I drive my family and friends. I'm sure I drive them crazy because I'm like, oh, wow, your Taurus rising really is digging its heels in. And it's just like, they're like,
there she goes, making sense.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I guess there's nothing to it but to do it, gang. Yeah.
Okay, so when we go through, I was thinking about I am going to still go over what everything means planetary wise, even though you guys are familiar with it from Charlie's reading.
Please do, because so much of that it did not stick.
Yeah, it's just it's like being in a butterfly museum. You know, when you look at astrology, there's just so much stuff flying around, and you want to look at everything, but it's just like so much stuff fluttering around that it's really hard to follow a lot of the time. So we're going to start like we did with the last time with your sun sign. So just to go over again what the sun means in astrology, it symbolizes the basic personality of oneself. So it gives us kind of that basic understanding of how we make our choices and why we do what we do. Keywords for the sun would be like ego, basic personality, consciousness, vitality, and stamina. Okay. So you have your sun in the sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Okay. So you're of the air element, fixed in nature. So both you and Charlie are fixed sun signs. It's just Charlie's fixed fire and you are a fixed air.
Can you remind me? See, here we are already. Can you remind me what fixed means?
So absolutely. So there's 3 modes in astrology. And each element has a sign with one mode. Okay. So there's immutable sun, immutable fire, immutable air, immutable earth. Same with cardinal, same with fixed. And mutable is basically exactly what it sounds like. These like mutable people tend to be a little bit more easygoing, not dig their heels in as much, be able to really adapt to their like people around them very well because they kind of have that, they can mold very easily to everything that is around them. They might be a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more quiet in how they operate. Cardinal is like your get up and go leader. Probably most bosses, and like if you looked at the 3 modes and you looked at managers or employers through the world, you would see probably the most in cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn are the cardinal signs. And then you have the fixed signs, which are Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. And fixed is very set in what they believe and their ways. They are the most resistant to change. They really don't embrace change naturally. And can dig their heels in a bit, but they are definitely have the most staying power out of any of the modes. Like they can run the whole course.
So then for just lack of a better way to put it, so it's like Aquarius, like the airiest of the air, and then like you have Taurus is like the earthiest of the earth. Is like how it is like.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a good way to look at it. The way I look at it is all the air signs, all the elemental signs are slightly different. And it has to do too with the zodiac, like wheel and how it goes with the seasons. So I would call Aquarius the iciest air sign. So when you think of air, it's like that cold winter, it depending on where you are in the hemisphere, generally, it's the middle of winter. It's when it's coldest. So that's like that strong, cool, icy wind. Then we have Gemini, which takes place in the spring, which is kind of when the winds are blowing every which way and you have those spring storms and that kind of stuff. And then you have Libra, which is in that really beautiful, tranquil autumn season that's, a lot calmer. So I kind of look at it like that way with all the different elements. We have Aries is the first fire element. It is the beginning of spring. It's everything coming to life. So you can kind of look at each sign in the season that it's in and kind of understand where some of the energy for that sign comes from by looking at the season, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. When you follow, like, I'm sure you guys have heard, I've heard Charlie reference it for sure. Like, it's Leo season, you know, or it's Virgo season. Like, I really love living, you know, we all live by the like seasons, of course. And, you know, lots of people track like, all the Sabbats are all related to seasons as well and all that kind of stuff. But astrology really is too. And when you pay attention to like the seasons of the year, you can really draw you can realize a lot more of the energies that are going around with you and kind of how to use it in a cool way. Yeah. So you are a fixed air sign. Okay. Now keywords, which I'll go over first, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all that this keyword came first, but one of the first keywords for Aquarius is sarcastic.
I was going to say arrogant asshole.
I don't know why that came up as the first one. You're like, oh, she's going to tell me I'm an arrogant asshole.
It happened.
Sarcastic. So, no.
So here's the thing. I know I'm an arrogant asshole. So you're just going to tell me why I'm an arrogant asshole.
You're not. And we'll get into that. Your Cancer moon opposing all these planets. All right. Like it's out there. Like keeping camp by itself. And you've got all your Capricorn and Aquarius stuff directly across from it, trying to pull it over. It's very hard. Like,
wonderful.
So other words are individualistic. So definitely one of my favorite things about Aquarians is they are their own people. There is no way to box them into a conventional package. They're just not about it. Rebellious for sure. There's a big questioning of everything that goes on there. Like just because you tell me it's so, why should I believe you that it's so? If you can't explain it to me, then why should I believe you? That kind of challenging energy. Very assertive for a fixed sign, which, you know, cardinals are generally very assertive, but I do find Aquarius to be very assertive as well because they're very unafraid of challenging somebody. Yeah. Very independent. Very independent. A big humanitarian, like the greater good is kind of always on the mind of an Aquarius. Like, how can we improve things for everybody? How can we make this world a better place? How can I, you know, the way I live daily, how can I serve the environment more? Like they're very progressive and humanitarian in how they operate and look at life. Very original, are often called eccentric, opinionated, very intellectual. So I would actually call Aquarius probably the most intellectual of all the air signs. Air element is very much aligned with intellect. So all the air signs can bend that way, but I do think Aquarius is the most intellectually based just because of all the questioning that goes on. Gemini asks a lot of questions, but they don't really care about what they're asking about. They'll ask anything. Like it's not, it's like, whatever, I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions. Doesn't really matter what Aquarius is like, no, like, what is this about? I want to understand how this is made up, that kind of energy. They are very much pegged for being detached and aloof, which they definitely can be for sure. But it's not necessarily that they are, I find in my experience with Aquarians, there's like two types like of Aquarian suns. And the first one, they're not aloof and detached because they don't want to connect. It's just everything goes through the mind first. Everything goes through this, like, I find like a filter basis with Aquarius. So they think about it this way first. And then if you don't challenge them to think about it another way, they won't. But if you do, they will access it that way and keep moving that way. So it's not that they're aloof or, in my opinion, or what's the right word? Like unfriendly, or, you know, anything like that. It's just that it wouldn't occur to them to look at it a different way. Like, unless they were challenged to. But if you do challenge them to do that, I do find, you know, depending on, of course, numerous other placements in a chart, you know, if you get an Aquarius stellium, like the big three, like sun, moon, rising, you might have a much harder time with this than it, you know, somebody has a few different planet or signs there. But then there are sometimes Aquarians that do ride that intellectual snobbery pony. to death, but I don't think you're one of those at all.
I have been. I've had to dial that back significantly, but I definitely have been. Yeah.
It's easy to get on, man. I have an Aquarius, Mercury, and Venus. So I operate in a very Aquarian way in my, like how I learn, how I process information, and how I approach relationships. So I definitely was guilty of that when I was in my teens.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought I knew everything.
Mhm.
Like so it's a very easy thing to fall into.
Hey, Charlie, remember when I argued with Clark for 3 hours about the existence of ghosts when I was 16?
Yeah.
What was it about?
He didn't believe in ghosts. Or he was like, he like emphatically was like, ghosts aren't real. And I was like 16-year-old me just couldn't accept that. I couldn't accept that. We were going to argue until he understood.
And the thing is, what's
Until
funny
he
about that?
You understand it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very difficult.
He gave it right back. So I'm interested. I wonder, now I'm like, what's in his chart that like did that?
Well,
you know, like
Aquarians are probably one of the best signs to argue with an Aquarius.
That explains. So my brother's a Sag, and I swear to you,
Sagittarius. And it's like, holy fucking shit, man. I hate getting into arguments with them because I just peter out after like half an hour and I'm like,
yeah. My mom is also a Sagittarius. You can't win. You won't win. You won't win.
You can't. And that's where I get back on that intellectual pony with my Aquarius Mercury. And I'm like, well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. And I'm okay with that because I know I'm right. And, if you can't accept that, the only way to disengage with them. I know. But one of my favorite things really about Aquarius suns is they have such progressive minds. Their objection to just follow routine and normality, like mindlessly, is such a great quality. Like, mediocre is generally not good enough for an Aquarius. Like they don't want to be doing the 9 to 5. They don't like, unless it has purpose, you know what I mean? Or they don't want to just do what everybody else is doing because they look at them kind of like herds of sheep. They're like, where's your mind? Where are you just listening? And like,
I swear it makes me feel better. And like, just like fleeting thoughts that you have sometimes just like, and you like catch yourself thinking them. Like, I don't go ever quite as far as like the sheeple stuff, but it's like every now and again, I will just catch myself just petting my own ego in my mind. And it's just dude, stop it.
Pendant, like
yeah. I've just got it all figured out.
Absolutely. It's that independent stubbornness which really can give them freedom to do a lot of things that other people would never do because they're too afraid of going against the status quo or too intimidated of being eccentric or different or rebellious. Like Aquarians have absolutely no problem with that. It's definitely their thing. Very open. One thing that's funny about Aquarius is, and this is where the fixed nature comes in, is like they're so open to change as a concept. Like, yes, let's talk about change. This sounds great. But when it actually comes time to change, I find they have such a hard time with it. Like they're very, very.
Yeah, I relate to that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it would be so great if we change this. And all we need to do is go change that. But then when it actually comes to putting it into action, they can do it, but it's just very like, oh, I don't actually like this.
It's more fun to just talk about it.
Yeah. Like somebody else should go do all the changes that, let's get the mutable signs up there to do that. Like, we'll just come up with the ideas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that energy. But so like curious and observant. And like, I just find them Aquarians so visionary. They are, again, they could rival Sagittarians with bluntness. I would definitely call Geminis. I don't know if Geminis are blunt. I think Geminis just have word vomit, but Sagittarians and Aquarians are blunt, like, like a hammer. But we need that, right? Like all signs have qualities that, if we were all the same wouldn't be great, but this is why we're all different. So we all bring different things to the table. and the symbolism behind Aquarius. So a lot of people think Aquarius is a water sign.
I did until like 3, maybe not even, like maybe like 2 years ago. Honestly.
Yeah, and it's so easy to think that because of the symbol of Aquarius is the water bearer. It's called the water bearer. It's usually like a woman, pouring water out of a jug. And the idea behind the symbolism with that is supposed to represent knowledge and like humanitarianism and moving towards the greater good. And she's pouring it out onto the earth. So when they say the water bearer, it's kind of like a knowledge bearer is really what that means. It's just, replenishing the earth with this futuristic thinking and making sure that things move along the way they need to for the earth to survive or for people to adapt, type of energy. But yeah, a lot of the times people mistake it as a water sign. Aquarians hate, like they don't get angry necessarily very easily, but if it does broach topics of discrimination or intolerance or very outdated ways of thinking, look out. Like that icy cold wind will come down and blow you out.
That's crazy. That's crazy because
Yeah.
that's some of the stuff I've seen Macy get the most, I guess just the most passionate, I don't know, about.
Worked up. I'll work up over it.
Yeah. Or just like legitimately angry,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because Aquarians just don't get how other people don't get it.
That's a good way to put it. It is. It's a not get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing. It's like what? Yeah. No.
Yeah. Just like, okay, those are hot topics. But yeah, that's generally how we look at Aquarius. Yes, they are more emotionally detached. Probably one of the most emotionally detached signs in the zodiac. But again, they get a hard rap. I feel like Aquarius, Scorpios, and Geminis get picked on the most. And Aquarians, it's usually like, oh, they have no soul. They're so unfeeling. But I really don't look at them that way. It's just that emotion is simply the last factor or check-in point that they come to. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Factor in, and that's okay. Like we can't all be, water signs running around crying.
Well, the oceans are just filled with the tears of the water signs.
The water signs, It's just Lyra.
Like
Lyra just sits on the coast all day, just crying tears into the ocean.
Just tears for beauty, tears for passion, tears for love, tears for sadness.
Tears for everything. Is Aquarius related or with at all the Star tarot card? Just because you say the woman pouring the water from the jug onto the ground, that's what it makes me think of. Yeah.
Top of my head, I know Cancer's the moon card. Aquarius, it would be the Star or maybe the Magician. I think, because it's when we combine astrology and tarot, it's not necessarily always the imagery, but the idea, the energy behind the card, and then the energy behind the zodiac sign. Like Capricorn's the devil. And what other ones do I know off the top of my head? We're talking about Aquarius and the wind blew them right out. So, yes, it wouldn't be surprising. But yeah, it would probably be the Magician or the Star. The idea of bringing, I think Sagittarius is the Fool.
Is anybody the Tower?
If I was going to guess, I would say Scorpios.
Yeah.
Well, when we think about what the Tower card means, and it's all about like crazy death and rebirth, transformation, Scorpio's all about that too. So it actually, Charlie, a great deck that you should get. Well, both of you, but I think Charlie may work more in tarot. It's these. I use them all the time. Called Black Moon cards.
Astrology cards. Cool.
Yeah, and it is a traditional tarot deck, but they actually take astrology and line up. So you can do a tarot spread. They're not oracle cards. They work the same as tarot, and it's neat because they'll tell you with each astrology card what card in the tarot deck it's representing.
Cool.
Yeah, so you might really find those interesting. I use them a lot. So
Can I get you to email that to me? Because I will forget. Okay.
yeah. And I was like, I don't know why I'm showing you. I should just message you.
I should just make a note, but if I switch tabs, it'll shut everything
It
down.
breaks. Yeah.
But another thing I love about Aquarians is they are so not easily offended. Like you actually can have a great conversation with an Aquarius person and get passionate and have that debate, and they're not going to get hurt. Like their feelings aren't going to get hurt. They're not generally, unless you hit a hot topic, but generally
one of the ones that really get them going. Yeah.
Like, then that's a different story. But like generally they're really able to talk about like a huge variety of subjects and really unemotionally. So there's not that personal attachment to the debate. Whereas for a lot of people that's harder to do because, you know, if they like are a water sign or a fire sign, there's a lot more emotion attached to opinions or intellect than there is for the air and the earth signs. But we'll move into the sun in the sixth house, which is what you guys both have. So I'll just briefly go over the houses again. Oh my God, Charlie, you look so excited.
She's rocking back and forth. Cheesing.
So the houses in astrology are, which if you have your charts in front of you, or for anybody listening, I guess you wouldn't have that in front of you, but the zodiac wheel is split into 12 houses and each house represents a different area of life. So all the planets and comets and asteroids that we work with have to live in a house. Okay. So every planet needs to live somewhere. Now, having empty houses does not mean there's nothing going on in that area of life for you. It just means there's more concentrated energy in the house where there's more planets or where there is a planet residing. And then they all interact with each other and you can get way into, like I could go into empty houses and that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to because that would need a whole nother episode. But it begins with the first house, which is also your rising sign, and then goes counterclockwise around. So basically, how we're going to wrap it up here is your sun is living in your sixth house. And sixth house subjects are work versus career, service, service to others or service to community, health and vitality, healing, like physicality, pets, daily routines, and hygiene and duty, a very, very strong sense of duty. So when you have your sun in the sixth house, your life direction and sense of fulfillment can really be discovered through involvement in the areas of work, health, and service. Work being, again, like could be service to others, but you're going to really identify with what you do for work. And when you apply your attention to these spheres, it really will help you on your path to development, because that's where you're really meant to be going and what you're meant to be doing. Now, both of you have this placement. However, Charlie's is a Leo sun, so it's going to come out in Leo-esque ways, and yours is an Aquarian sun, so it's going to come out very Aquarius. You also have a lot of people living in your sixth house.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is very, very full.
So like, how would that work then? So like, what would kind of the difference? Because you said you get like a little bit of Aquarian nature through the sixth house in the sun. So I'm trying to
how
think
does it work? I understand. I think where you're going with this. So
yeah, like how does that come through? I guess.
Yeah. So you and Charlie are both going to find a lot of fulfillment with your core identity through the sixth house subjects. So that's where you have the similarities. Is the area of life that you're going to find fulfillment through. But what's going to be different is with Charlie, they're going to be more Leo-based subjects or have a Leo path to it. And then with you, it's going to be more Aquarian. Also, because your sixth house is so full, you have what we call a lot of conjunctions. Conjunction is an aspect in astrology. It means that a planet is 2 to 3 degrees apart. So they're very, very close together. And when that happens, it's like an amplifier. So you're going to have a lot more going on with these sixth house subjects because you have more planets in there than Charlie. But Charlie's also going to have those sixth house subjects going on. But there's going to be other concentrated areas of life that her planets, other planets are going to be focused on. One difference that you do have, you both have the sun in there, but I just want to double check. You don't have Mercury in there. You don't. So Charlie has the sun and Mercury. So when we were looking at Charlie's chart, for example, Mercury is the planet of the mind. So that's when we were talking about kind of like the overanalyzation and the overthinking, because Mercury is in there. Whereas you don't have Mercury in there. You have Mercury in
Okay.
there. So you're going to see you're going to see differences like that come through. Because you have the sun, you have Venus, you have Mars, you have Uranus, and you have Neptune, all in the 6th house. Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to get into that because the elements of the 6th house are the things that I do find myself focused on as a human being the most.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, to a degree that's a little bit rigid and like strange, probably.
Oh, absolutely. So each house in astrology has a natural a sign that rules the subjects of that house. So the 6th house in astrology is Virgo. So when you think about what's the 6th house about in subject, if you think about Virgo, the sign, a lot of those subjects are in the 6th house. Your 6th house is not ruled by Virgo. Your 6th house is ruled by Capricorn. So you're going to have a real Capricorn attitude going towards all those Virgo subjects. If that makes sense.
I think that would help. I think that would help me. Yeah. I think that would make it. It also explains just a little bit as to why, like, I feel like I get into all of this shit and I'm in, I have all these irons in the fire, but they're not quite as organized as I feel like it would be if it was through a Virgo lens instead of a Capricorn lens,
Well, because you have when we're talking about how does the Aquarius sun work, the Aquarius sun is rebellious, right? It doesn't want to do things the way that everybody else is doing them. So, and they are less rigid to routine, whereas Virgo tends to be very rigid to routine. So you can be drawn to that area of life and have interest and want to operate that way, but you're going to have to work through that in an Aquarian way. If that kind of makes some sense. So where I've seen this with you, Macy, like personally, just surveying, because even before I did your charts, like we talked about before, how I was like, I had like the prominent signs have to be these ones. Like, I knew you had to have a lot of Capricorn. Like I find a Capricorn stellium very easy to pick because there's that like love of efficiency. Like,
I really do hate inefficiency. That was one of the first things that I said, like when we, like the first time, and it was like only 15 minutes late at that point. I was just like, I told Amber, I was like, I hate being late. I'm so sorry. It's like, can't.
Yeah. Oh no, it eats you up from the inside out. It's that Capricorn stellium. But other things that I saw is like how you had kind of, I guess, like you said you had a very corporate job or you had like a 9 to 5, and then you were also doing the podcast and you're really trying to make both work. And when you look at it, it's like the podcast is more Aquarian in nature. It's communicating ideas, the things you talk about, that's that kind of stuff. And then the pragmatic, I need to keep my job maybe for a period of time, or I like the security of this. That's the Capricorn energy in that house. You could kind of have a little bit of a like frisson between those two energies, because there would have been that draw to like with Capricorn energy to be like, well, I might lose my seniority, or, if I
overthink it and never leave.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas the Aquarian side is like, well, but this is a lot more fulfilling.
Just get the fuck out. Come on.
Go. Yeah. Go throw your book out the window on your way out. Like, it's very like, but another thing with you having such a packed 6th house is how many animals do you have?
Many.
Include the fish when you count.
If I include the fish, okay, about 107 animals.
That's more
counting the fish.
Holy shit! How many?
It's actually 12 hens, 3 dogs, and 1 cat. And
100 fish.
And then X amount of fish.
And then, I mean, if we really want to get into it and call the plants pets, I mean, that could be.
And they are treated like pets. So yeah, I'm surrounded in pets.
Yeah. So the sixth house is about our pets and animals that surround us in the home. So you have a fully packed sixth house and you have a fully packed real house.
Yeah. Yes. And just animals in general, I've just always gotten on better with than people.
Well, one thing I found really interesting was I didn't know you used to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Charlie mentioned in the last the recording that you worked at a cat sanctuary, like wildcat.
Yeah, big cats.
So where the sixth house, if you take a look at your chart, where the sixth house represents domestic animals, like our pets, animals are in the home, the 12th house is wild animals, and that's where your moon is. So I found it really interesting when Charlie said that, because I was like, oh yeah, she's got the wild animals, she's got the domestic animals, she feels emotionally fulfilled being around the wild animals and finds
interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know until Charlie mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like with the matters of like health in the sixth house, I love it when you get really into breaking it down, how you do things with your health, like your running or your yoga, and you talk about it like in the way it's such an experience.
Yeah. It's always been sensory for me. Even as like a little kid, even when I was like in sixth grade, I just started running on the treadmill for no other reason than just to do it. You know, like I just enjoyed it. You know, I liked the endorphins that came. It's just always, it feels good to me, you know? And so I've not really thought about it, but you're right. When I do talk about it, I like get in there, you know,
when
you really talk about it.
You and Hunter got like the barefoot shoes. Tell me more. I like, and you were so into it, and then you went into the history of like, well, we didn't used to run this way. It used to run like barefoot. I was just like, oh yeah.
Extended a simple statement of, we got some new running shoes into a 20-minute cinematic experience.
What did you say? Was it the last episode that you just, I just like running?
I just like running.
That's a real telltale sign of like somebody who's a heavy sixth house. I'm also a heavy sixth house. So I definitely like appreciate it when you talk about that stuff. I'm like riveted. But generally you're just likely to be concerned if you have like a heavy sixth house or a sun in the sixth house in one way or another with your own state of health and wholeness. Your focus on self-refinement and self-improvement is very much there. There's a real tendency to self-analysis, like you're continuously taking stock of like yourself and like, where am I physically? Where am I mentally? Like there's a real kind of check-in point with that. On, more of a shadow side, this can manifest as too much self-criticism. So being way too hard on yourself and nitpicking on yourself because everything isn't perfect. That can be kind of like if you have a heavy sixth house, that can be something, because there is really that desire to achieve perfection, and not perfection so you can show other people that your life is perfect, but these are like your standards.
Yeah.
And so you need to meet your standards. It's not about meeting other people's.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get myself into trouble a lot, to where like a lot of the time the standard is output, and so it's like, if I feel like I know I can do more, and it's like, sometimes I physically can't do anymore, but it's like, but you should, and you probably can, and I will run myself ragged because of that, and exactly. I run into that.
Yeah, that's definitely a sixth house thing. It's just, if you can keep walking, even if you're staggering, you'll try and keep going. That kind of energy. But that a lot of the time too has to do with sense of duty. There's a huge sense of duty with the sixth house. And one thing I find very, like, I picked up on your sixth house energy is like, you have a big duty to your property and how you treat all the inhabitants on your property. So not just your pets, but like the fae. You're like very respectful, and you like communicate with them and leave out things for them. Like you feel it sounds like a sense of duty towards everything that is around your home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've actually been like very nervous, like not nervous, but like shit, you know, kind of, I keep forgetting. I've been meaning to leave something out at the woods for like 4 days now. And then every day, like I wake up and I'm like, shit, I forgot. It's like, it needs to happen. Like, yeah, like I like honestly, like usually every couple weeks at least, like, and if I don't, I'm like, I probably need to be getting out there and like putting something out in those trees just in case.
It's interesting talking about like the sense of duty, because I've noticed that with Mace that you'll say that, like you just said it, you'll say like, oh, that would be a good thing to do, or oh, I probably need to do this, but you've always kind of said that and it's not like I feel like where I would be like, oh God, I need to go do laundry. Like it's a different feeling. It's like, I need to do this is just another thing on, it's like breathing, or it's just like a daily task that you're like, I gotta go do. It's not like this thing that you're like, oh, I really should work that in somewhere. It's just like, this is on the main to-do list of the day.
Go do it.
And I've noticed that about you, you know, is you'll be like, oh, I should do this, or I need to do, you know, I need to get around to that. So that's interesting, because it does feel like those particular things aren't just, they're not like optional, it feels like.
Well, yeah. And that's the difference between like your Leo energy, whereas like all things that we don't want to do should be optional.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I totally don't understand it.
Yeah, like I feel you, Charlie. I feel you. But the Aquarian Capricorn energy that's going on in Macy's 6th house, it is that like I must do these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a part of my daily routine or a part of my daily life. These are things that have to be done. So they're not really looked at as like something that can be put off or like optional. Mm-hmm. Whereas it's ideally all Leos would have somebody else doing it for them. Oh, yeah. The daily routine, mundane kind of stuff.
Which it kind of makes me think of what you said earlier. You were talking about like the Aquarian, and you were like how if they don't get challenged to like think about it a certain way, it's just I don't even contemplate not doing it. It's like, you know, it's just like I'm just gonna do it. I mean, if somebody was like, yeah, but do you have to, I might stop and be like, no, probably not, you know. But it's like, if no one's there to say that, I'm gonna do it.
But when it comes to the say, you should probably not not have like a
they're pretty firm
attitude.
Yeah, pretty firm timelines for them guys.
But yeah, accomplishing your work well is very important to you. A mediocre job is not a job that's done.
I love a job well done.
Your fucking mural.
Oh God, I know. I need to finish it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking. Proving the point, man. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was the most Macy thing I've ever heard.
Sorry, I love it. No, I love it. But yeah, like if there's no high quality results, it hurts your self-image to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's very disturbing. It's not
disturbing is a good word. Yeah. Really, it's a good word. I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing, it was a couple podcasts ago, and I guess you guys recorded something for somebody else. And one of the first things out of your mouth, Macy, was, yeah, well, my mic, or like I had to do it off my phone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very good.
It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Yeah. It bothered the hell out of me.
And I was like, there it is. But another thing that I really like, and this is apparent in your Taurus midheaven as well, which we'll get to, but it's a real combination of your 6th house stuff and your Taurus midheaven, is the way you research subjects, or your respect for the history behind a story. Like when you do your historical episodes, for example, there's a lot of respect in the research that comes off very, very obviously.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, because you want to get it right, and you bring that perfectionist attitude towards it. So there really is like every aspect is covered when you're telling a story. Like it's, you know, it was around this time, it was this date, it was, you know, this person, and you really paint the picture. All the details are sorted out.
I feel
Yeah.
like I do research better when there's a story. Like I find that those are almost like they're much more time consuming, but they're more, not only are they more fun, but they're almost easier because I have something to like something to convey that's like a tale, a thing, a packaged good, and it does get a little harder, I feel like, for just standard topics because there's not a story is just all there for you, and you can just like put it all in there. But yeah, I've not thought about that before.
Yeah.
I've also, I'm sorry. I keep talking over you.
I'm not saying anything important.
Oh no, I just want to say, just to interject there, I've also noticed that, particularly with the historical witch episodes, I've noticed that you've talked about people that like other podcasts or other YouTube channels or whatever have covered, right? They've been covered before or whatever. But I have noticed that when you do it, you typically like will branch further out. Like you'll be like, oh, I was reading this like, I don't know, somebody like some collegiate level shit,
I do like to try to find this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I got to try to find the weird shit nobody else has yet.
Yeah. Well, it's just like you're putting together like a puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to get to your moon sign because I know you were really excited about that. And I'm really excited to cover your moon sign because it was definitely, it was what I suspected your moon sign to be in. But before we get into what it means to have a moon in Cancer, we'll just go over what the moon means in astrology. So the moon represents our like deepest personal needs, our very instinctive habits and reactions, and our unconscious. So where our sun sign acts, our moon is more reactive. It's how, like I said, we want to instinctively react or respond to problems. It shows us where we're going to feel a need for security, how we like to be nurtured. And the moon is associated with the mother and feminine energy in general. It's responsive, receptive, and reflective. It's where we're going to be most spontaneous in our lives, depending on, for you, not so much because you're a Cancer moon in the 12th house, but generally. And it's what gives us animation, and it rules kind of the rhythmic ebb and flow of emotional activity and energy that we have. And the moon is our inner world, whereas the sun is more our outer world. So I always call like the moon sign kind of the bedroom in the house of the zodiac. Like only people that are really close to you are going to be invited in there. That's where we're going to be most raw. And that's how I see the moon in astrology. So we have your moon in the cardinal water sign of Cancer. And Cancer is symbolized by the crab. And the idea is the crab has this hard outer shell, and it can come across as very like crabby and like the pincers and like very like, wow. But it's very soft on the inside, and it has that hard outer shell to protect how sensitive it actually is on the inside. And the crab also, when they move like zigzaggy. They don't move in a straight line. They tend to go here and then go there and then go here. And it emotionally, that can be very similar to how a Cancer moon processes things. So it can kind of be that, like, I'm going to revisit it and then I'm going to go over here because that was like a lot of emotion for me.
Yeah.
That was really sensitive. I was really overcome. So I'm going to go over here and I'll go back there in a bit when I feel like I can handle that again. So where you said the Cancer moon was one of the most ones you were most excited for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Cancer moons kind of like to hide behind a lot of things. The idea of like, it's like the shell, like Aretha Franklin's Cancer moon, she has that big voice. Mae West used humor kind of as a decoy emotionally. They tend to use decoys and kind of quirks to don't pay attention to my emotions. They don't want their emotions to be apparent or vulnerable because they feel so exposed.
Yeah.
And that's a very dangerous feeling for them. Like, it's not like a nice, warm kind of Leo moons are a little bit more comfortable with that, for example, because we have a lot of pride in our emotion and want to like portray that. Whereas Cancer moons are definitely more like, the only way you're getting at this out of me is if I like choose to give this to you. I don't want you catching a glimpse of this by mistake.
Yeah.
I don't want you drawing this out of me, like getting me to talk emotionally. Like that's just not where you feel safe.
Yeah, no, like if I had to choose between a scenario of like being a nude, like life, like drawing model for a day and like just like dropping clothes in front of a bunch of strangers and like just crying in front of 4 people, I'd pick the being nude in front of a room full of strangers. Like, not even a question. Don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's Cancer moons. Like every Cancer moon that I have encountered in my life is like they cry, but it's very, very private. Like I've never seen them cry.
Yeah.
I know they do, I think. Like maybe
it's like seeing Dolly Parton without her makeup. You're not gonna do it, you know? Like
normal.
it's just
no.
it's not gonna happen.
No, like it's probably like in the dark in their room. It's very different from Cancer sun energy, because Cancer sun energy is a lot more comfortable with that being in a sun sign. In a moon sign, the moon already feels vulnerable, and then you kind of put the Cancer characteristics on top of it, and it just makes for something really, really ultra private. It's very self-protective is like an understatement to make about this. And it's not that you're not comfortable with emotion. It's just the vulnerability aspect of it is very, very difficult for your emotions.
Yeah. No, I think, that makes a lot of sense. And is there another layer of that, like another layer being piled on too, with it being in the 12th house?
Yes. Oh,
Great.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
12th house is, the most mysterious, deep house in the zodiac. I'm going to get to in just a sec. But also,
it's getting lizardier and lizardier the more we go into this moon.
And then I'm like, oh, it's in the 12th house. I'm like, wow, okay. Oh, it's opposing everything in her chart.
It really is. Yeah. No, I see what you mean by that. I didn't realize that. You are right. It actually is. It's the moon against everybody else.
Everything else. Your poor moon is just out there like a one team gal, like really trying to hold it together. Against all these 6 things. So those are aspects, which if we have time, I'll get into aspects later, because I'm like fascinating, and it's how everything takes action and comes into play. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But yeah, super cautious with emotions. And because Cancer is very much about the home, there is a huge, strong emotional attachment to the home for Cancer moon.
Sorry. Like you might name your house.
Yeah. I might treat my house like an entity and work with it like as a thing.
It's a family member. It's where, it's where you feel embraced. It's where you feel safest. Cancer moons would happily never leave their home.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Quarantine wasn't that bad in that aspect. Like it was, I just got to be at home a lot, and it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's very emotional attachment to the home, and pardon me, and to memories. It's like kind of how I was saying before, the way you and Charlie recall memories are very reflective of your different moon signs. Like Charlie's very sensory, and like, is it, it smelled this way, it tasted this way, and I saw this happen. And then for you being a Cancer moon, it's I felt this way, and I've never felt like that before, and I'll always remember this because it was like my first feeling of this, and it's way more feelings based.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, intuition is a huge thing with Cancer moons. Your intuition is probably very spookily accurate, even if you don't share it. There might be a lot of moments where you think something and you're like, oh, I think this is going to happen, but I don't want to say. And then it happens and you're like, oh, damn it. I wish I'd said so I could tell everybody.
It makes me think of Lyra. I've talked about it before. She sends me this meme every time I like start getting to talk and be like, well, here's what I think is going to happen, and like break down, like and be like, I think that this is going to fall into place, and then this is going to happen. She'll send me the meme, and I can't always remember all of the Golden Girls as to who is who, but it was the short haired one with like the darker gray and then the lighter gray, and she was like the real kind of like. And so, yeah, she'll just send me the meme and it's her. And it just says, I might be wrong, but I doubt it. And it's like, anytime I get going like that, and that's what she does. It's just like, I might be wrong, but I doubt it.
No, there's a real strong, like, you take intuition as actual, like, pretty much fact, which is really interesting because it's very like opposing to your Aquarius sun. Whereas Aquarius sun is very like emotion is not fact. So you probably have a lot of head heart tug of war there sometimes, perhaps going on, but your Cancer moon, that's right. You know when to follow it. Yeah.
And it's not really been wrong too much. And like, I've done stupid things with it, like quitting a job when I didn't have another one lined up, but like, it was like, this is time to do this. And I did, and got another one, so it's like, when you feel, I call it the knowing. I've talked about it in Patreon blogs where it's like, it doesn't come along all the time. It's not like you're little, but it's like when the knowing shows up, you're like, oh, okay, we're going to do this then.
Yeah, absolutely.
The amount of times that something has happened, whatever it is, and I've heard Macy it's the same. I can see you doing it in my mind's eye. You just like slam your hand down. You're like, I fucking knew it. You like do this with your hand. I feel like you have done that at least 7 times in your life.
At least 7.
Yeah.
Cancer moons generally do find a mate for life, like I find earlier on in life, because they don't want to emotionally expose themselves to that many people. Mm-hmm. And so they won't do that very easily. So when they do find somebody that they are comfortable doing that with, that tends to be the right person, or a person that's going to be with them for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Because it's just, you can't go around being emotional in a bunch of relationships. It's just not going to come for you.
No.
At all. Because when did you meet Hunter?
In 3 weeks before I was out of college. I was 21.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I would consider that fairly early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And you would have, with a Cancer moon, be drawn to somebody who's very sensitive to their environment. Because it makes you feel more comfortable and more at ease and more at home. Which is funny because when you were talking about, I can't remember the specifics, but you were talking about something about Hunter. And you didn't realize he did something a certain way. I think it was something to do with hunting, but you were just so and loved how much thought and care, like the sensitivity that he put into
all of his tools and all of his gear and all of his anything he uses for anything like that. He's like, the proverb or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word, but where it's like you sharpen your saw before you cut the tree. He's one of those people. And so it's like when he goes fishing, and like when we went to the ocean, he made sure he had the right hooks that wouldn't cause problems for the fish, little things like that. It's like, I deeply appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Cancer is a sign, no matter whether it's sun, moon, rising, Mercury, whatever, extremely sensitive to their environment. So you appreciate it when other people are the same way. Now, another great thing about Cancer moons is you can make a tight budget stretch to the moon and back. You can make that dollar like last.
And my mom has a saying, I don't know what her moon is, but she always said, girl, and she was I learned a lot from her, very, very savvy, frugal, but she always said, I can stretch a dollar till it screams. And I've just kind of always hung on to that, and it is, I feel like I've been able to live on not very much and live okay, like not completely suffer.
Yeah. Cancer moons are really good at that. And when you think about the symbolism of Cancer, like the crabs live on land and they also live in the water. So you can be adaptable in that way as well. A little bit shape-shifting in nature if you have to be. And you can go through like so many different emotions in one day and nobody will know, like the emotional roller coaster you've been on internally. like like every day.
Yeah.
Because you might not emote it. Like nobody around you might know, but you've been like up and down and here and there. And just like, at the end of the day, you might just be like, wow, what a day.
Yeah.
And like nobody knows what's gone on.
Yeah. Afraid so.
Yeah. And but yeah, that's kind of the Cancer moon in a nutshell. A lot of emotional nostalgia really with Cancer moons, like I touched on before. But let's get into the 12th house aspect of it, because I am really excited to get into that. So you don't just have the most private moon, you also have it in the most mysterious house in the zodiac. So the 12th house is the Pisces house, traditionally. And your 12th house is ruled by Cancer. So it's still ruled by a water sign there, even. And it's called, we call this house the house of mystery and self-undoing. It's also called the house of instinct, dreams, psychology, mental illness, prisons, the hidden world, magic, past lives, and karma. So there's a whole lot of deep subjects going on in the 12th house. And I just immediately just springs to my mind, as I said, prisons. You've done so many historical prison episodes, or like mental illness homes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like asylums and whatnot.
Asylum.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word. I'm like, it sounds like
I mean,
pretty much for prison.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically a prison. You've done several of those episodes, and I just think that's very a real representation of your moon in the 12th house, because you find that very interesting and you like to share that. And you get very, again, portraying it when you're telling the story about it. It's, you're like, well, can you imagine what that felt like to be that way? Like, again, you touch upon the feeling of it, not just the facts.
I think that's why I gravitate to those topics a lot. Because one, I don't like being trapped. That's one, like it's like a big part of it. But also I do, and it's a little bit exhausting, but it's helped in things. It's like a natural thing. Like in marketing, I've done it, which has been helpful. I do put myself in the person's play. It's like I will put myself. So like when I do those topics, I like put myself there. And I like look around there, and I think it's gravitating to those because that is maybe one of the worst places that I could imagine being, but it's also fascinating that fucking happened, But yeah, no, that makes, even when I was pretty young, I remember I heard about Danvers, I think when I was like a freshman in high school, and I looked up Danvers, asylum, and like got into it from there and looked at the old pictures. And I've just always kind of been that way with stuff like that.
Yeah, you're very intuitively drawn to it, because you have this moon in the 12th house, and it's a 12th house subject, or it's in the 12th house realm, so to speak. Another thing where I see your Cancer moon is that book you read, Running with Sherman. Yeah, and you talked so much, and you talked after it. You talked so much about how animals and help mental health and like our mindset and all that kind of stuff. And that's very Cancer moony, because like I was saying, the 6th house is the domestic animals and the 12th house is the wild animals. So you immediately like dove into the psychology, which is another 12th house subject. And obviously we're very emotional about it because it touched very deeply. So that's a very like Cancer moon 12th housey thing. But there's a huge capacity for compassion, especially for the downtrodden, with the moon in the 12th house. So again, like you were saying, you're putting yourself in other people's shoes. You really do that with anybody that is of disadvantage. You're very drawn to that. Having it in the 12th house, your Cancer moon definitely is going to make you all the more private on top of like the Cancer moon in general. Very hesitant to reveal emotions. But there is something to watch out for because this is the 12th house. Pardon me. And there can be real suppression in the 12th house. There is the potential to like block the awareness of your feelings because you operate actually in such a sensitive basis naturally. Like, and sometimes with having the moon in the 12th house that way, it can be really overwhelming. Like, I actually can't operate with this anymore. I'm going to go paint my wall, or you might throw art or something as a way to deal with emotions that feels safer for you.
Yeah. And my mom was always really good at like understanding this, but like when I was in high school, and I was always like pretty decently like even killed happy, like I wasn't too angsty of a teenager or anything like that. But every couple months or even sometimes once a month, there would just be like a whole Saturday to where I was just like, I'm just going to be like reading all day. I'm not leaving the room. I was like, I'm not like depressed. I'm not sad, but I just need to shut in here for a little bit. And that's just always what I've done is I'll just kind of take a day. I'll like read all day long or I'll sketch and I don't speak. It's silence. Like I just won't. And I've kind of like talked to Hunter about it before and like, it'll just I'll wake up sometimes feeling those days and I'm just like, I'm just not going to speak much today. Like I'm just going to kind of be way off up here in the clouds and I'll see you when I come back down tomorrow, probably.
Because your moon is so sensitive. Like you're actually like operating on such a level of sensitivity that, especially with your Aquarius sun, a lot of people don't realize. And that's a way, like when you take that day of refuge, that's a way for you to like step away from the overstimulation.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a bit of a break. Whereas when we were talking about Charlie's Pisces rising, it's similar in the way that water sometimes needs a break to replenish, all water signs. But with Charlie's rising, it's a little bit different because it's more outward and it's out there getting engaged with people and like very actively, spreading all this energy. And then it's like, boom, I need like 2 weeks. Whereas the Cancer moon energy is more consistent. Like it's your moon sign, it's your emotions, it's every day. And you need not necessarily a day of recovery, but a day of shutdown, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like a reboot.
Yeah, exactly. So now let's get to your Leo rising.
That doesn't help, the theory that you're a computer person. You're like,
I know.
I'm like, Macy's actually very, very soft, guys. Really.
Yeah, never on the inside. You're just going to crunch through like a crab. You're just going to smash the hard shell, and then I'm just goop on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very validating. And I had like a very inward moment. I didn't express it. I am now, but it was 20 minutes ago when you were talking. Now I've processed it and I'm ready to. But when you were talking about the roller coaster of emotions in a day that nobody knows, like that really resonated because I do like sometimes, and I'm home alone a lot, which I like. I'm in my thoughts all the time. My mind is always just running and running and running, but I will go through so many emotions in a day and nobody knows because I don't want to talk about it. The last thing I want to do is talk about it. But it's just, I just feel like I look so steely, but it's like on the inside, it's just like, no.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I used to live with a girl who had a Cancer moon, but she was a Leo sun. But like, it was the same. I was like, what's going on in there? Like, I know I've gone through at least 8 mood swings today, but I cannot tell. Like,
yeah. And it's interesting because like Charlie and Lyra are very good at it now, like every now and again, they'll reach out, and be like, I can, Lyra has kind of like written me before, just you just feel like this, like I can just, you feel like you just like fluttering around over there, but, and I do feel like if I do get close, like y'all two know, like even from like 100 miles apart, Charlie has reached out before and been like, you doing all right over there? Like you just kind of feel like there's just like a squirrel over there, just flipping around. Yeah.
And that's why I like the like bedroom analogy is, very few people get to, I don't know, see your inner goop.
To see my goop.
Yeah. Macy's very private with her goop.
Yeah, the most private. That's the most private moon placement I think you could get, except for maybe a Cancer moon in the 4th house. But yeah, I would give it the 12th house, the winner, with definitely the most private and most mysterious.
It says here, just on her thing for the Cancer, it says emotional quest for spirituality.
Yeah.
Oh, on my wheel,
I'm looking at your wheel. Yeah. I can open up other tabs, just not Facebook.
Facebook's a bitch.
Huh?
Legit. Well, that's interesting, actually, Charlie, that you looked at the wheel and said that, because, like, do you feel like you get very emotional with when you're practicing?
Yeah, no, that's some of the more like I'm more accepting to letting emotion free flow during like practice and ritual work, which is almost like I feel like makes it better in a way for me, because I don't channel it all the time. So when I do open the floodgates, it feels like it's just like, but yeah, it definitely is. Like, that's probably some of the more emotional states I get into, and not like never like crying, but just like almost where you can't contain it, like your skin's going to slough off it so much. Like I'll hit that in that, but I don't usually in like a normal state.
Because that's where you feel the most comfortable.
No idea.
Well, because that's naturally where you're going to feel most comfortable. Like the 12th house is all about magic and spirituality, and that's where your moon is living. So that's where it's going to feel the least vulnerable, and where you're going to feel the most safe, because the moon wants to feel safe no matter what sign it's in, all varying degrees. But for the Cancer moon, safety is like the biggest. So yeah, that's really interesting. Because when I've heard you talk about, it's the same way that you both tell stories. Like Charlie paints a picture, like a sensory picture for you, and then you get it right into the, like, you're more emotional when you tell stories about your practice. But Charlie is like, tells us all the things and like paints the picture, and like it's like you're watching a movie almost. But yeah,
right.
that's
Macy's
really
like, oh, and then I felt this power, or like, whatever. It's like feelings.
Yeah. It's usually how it works. Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. So with the Leo rising, which you said you and Hunter both have,
yes.
I'll just touch quickly on what a rising sign is again. So it's often referred to, it's also called the ascendant. So if you hear rising or ascendant, they're the same thing. They're often referred to as the mask, or kind of like the outer facade that we present to the world, the impression we first make on the world. I like to liken it to the doorway of the house, or the porch of a house. It's kind of like the first impression that you get when you walk up somewhere, or when you engage with somebody. It's also representative of very much of how, like, kind of the lens you see the world through. And your rising sign is Leo. So the ruling planet, or your ruling planet, like we touched on, Charlie's was Neptune, because she has a Pisces rising. Your ruling planet is the sun. And I think this is probably why you prefer to do spell work during the day, because you would resonate more with it at that time than any other time, because it's your ruling planet.
That makes sense. Yeah, I've said before, like I do just feel like a solar person, and I feel like my power wanes. Like and that's why winter is more difficult, because there's no goddamn daylight in wintertime, So yeah, doing spell work at night for me feels always a little bit forced. Doesn't feel as good. Can
you remind me quickly why your ruling planet is in the
important
is the ascending, right? Am I right?
So you kind of are. So each sign has a planet.
Okay,
I got you. So each sign has a planetary ruler,
right?
The ruling planet,
right?
Okay.
So like Leo is the sun, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Your ruling planet is the planet of the sign that's ruling your first house, which is your rising sign or ascendant.
Okay.
So you're a Pisces rising. Pisces is ruled by Neptune.
So therefore, that's her.
Neptune is ruling planet. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm on track.
Yeah. I know it's also
Yeah.
Well, it's also just so different from what you know on the very surface level when you're like, oh, I'm a Leo and that's the sun. End of story.
It
Okay.
goes so much deeper. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what, like, you do a lot of nighttime magic, Charlie.
Oh yeah.
And Neptune's very dreamy. It's like when you think of all the Piscean things, you could probably do it night and day, but Neptune's very dreamy. Very, you know, the dark blue when you think about that. And then like Macy's, it's the sun, which is like that's where, like you said, Macy, the energy feeds you the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, ruling planet is the sun, and there's a lot of vibrant energy with a Leo rising. Like I mentioned, I think the last time we were recording, very regal. The output is very authoritative and very regal when people first meet you. Like, they are definitely going to be intimidated. Like, they want to make sure they're saying the right thing.
I'm sorry. Right when you said that people are going to be intimidated, I looked up at Macy's screen and all I saw was her do like a slow blink, like a very sassy, and I was like, oh, there it is.
I've heard it a lot.
And you're not intending to come off this way. It's just that you do come off with like this very authoritative.
Yeah.
I'm in charge. I know I'm in charge energy. Leo risings have a very big presence, and I wouldn't say it's the same at all like a Leo sun. Like, I see a big difference between the sun and rising with this sign. Like, it's not as warm as a Leo sun is necessarily. But it is a huge amount of presence. Like, people tend to notice when you walk in a room. They might not be able to say why they notice, but you just kind of look like you're in charge, or you look like you know what's going on. And people respond to that very, very much. They're also very entertaining. So right off the bat, you have no problem mimicking someone or like doing a voice or singing a song or you're comfortable with that out in the open, no problem. Like,
yeah, a little bit, just a tad.
Like, you'll just meet somebody and then you'll slip into like the gym voice.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't take much. I'll turn into Mavis pretty quick. Yeah.
It's seamless because acting out parts is how you like to present yourself. My brother's a Leo rising. He's the exact same way. You never know what's going to come out. But not in like a foot and mouth type of way. Like, you know, a Gemini rising might say something like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Not like that. But more just like, you don't know how you're going to be entertained, like, all the time, which is, it's always kind of fun to hang out with people like that, because you never know.
I can see it.
You also don't have any problem sharing your creations. So a lot of people naturally, you know, have that nervousness when, you know, sharing things they've created. You have no problem doing it. You're excited to do it. Like, look at your post on Instagram today with your skirt.
Yeah.
That kind of idea. Like, I made this. Everybody, look, is so cool. Y'all should do it. Like, that is very much Leo rising energy. Like, I created this. You guys should be creating too. Where are your projects? Show me. Like,
yeah. I mean, all over my house are my own damn paintings. You know, like I can hang them up and not scrutinize them into oblivion once they're done. You know,
once
like
I'll
scrutinize them. Yeah, I'll scrutinize them until they're done. But then once they're done, it's like, there they are. They're going to hang in the house, and I'm going to let it happen.
Yeah. Well, and you like to encourage others to be that way too, which is a really beautiful quality, just to be unafraid to like share their creations. Leo is very, very creative in its energy, no matter what placement it's in. It just comes out differently. Like a Leo sun is, like I've said before, it's like that Lizzo lyric, you know, If I'm shining, everybody else is going to shine around me. Leo rising is like, show me your content. Show me.
Show me what you got.
Show me.
So there's kind of like the difference in the energies there. And then, of course, the rising sign actually does, it's the houses, the first house is the house itself. So our rising sign does have to do with our appearance as well. So like I mentioned before, you have that Leo mane of hair, which is Leo risings often have thick hair. Doesn't necessarily mean a particular color or anything like that, but they can be very noticeable for their hair, very warm smiles, and very deep voices.
Deep voices?
Purses?
Deep voices. Like deep
voices. So they said deep purses, like we have a lot of money.
Very deep coffers.
People. Yeah.
Deep voices. That's interesting. Yeah.
Which is, we've talked about that before. There's a,
Yeah.
And you do have a warm smile.
Mm-hmm.
You don't show it to many people, I feel like.
Yeah, when it can get coaxed out of me. It's like, oh, she can.
Yeah, she can. Wait.
Very genuine. Very genuine smile. You don't smile for no reason.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like an arched eyebrow, but then every once in a while you'll get a smile.
Yeah. Whereas like Charlie, you have the Pisces rising, mutable, very smiley.
All the time.
Like, yeah.
Even when I'm super sad, it's like
you're like yeah, we call the water signs the sad clowns.
That reminds me of that No Bitches Love John Wayne Gacy in our coven. Somebody beautifully illustrated this sad weeping clown because we talked about it in a previous episode. This is No Bitches Love John Wayne Gacy, and it's great.
So he's definitely like a Cancer, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Signs. I tend to rip on water signs the most because I'm like 75% water. So
yeah, you're allowed to.
You've lived it. Yeah.
I know. I can say what I can say what I want because I am, but type of energy. But also before I forget, because I did forget, Charlie, when we were doing your chart, you have the Taurus moon. So when you get stressed, you lose your voice. Taurus is ruling of the throat chakra. Taurus.
She loses her voice every goddamn week.
Well, the first time it ever happened was right before our very first live show.
Right before the show.
Shitting myself about it. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't my fault. It's the fucking stars. Okay.
No, but not sleeping with your window open on a 30-degree.
I do that all the time, homie.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Yeah, you lose your voice all the time.
You can be more. Each sign has a ruling body part. Yeah.
It's Aquarius.
What is the Aquarian one?
Aquarius is your shins and ankles.
They give me trouble, and I wonder if that's related. My shins and ankles routinely bother me.
That was the last thing I was expecting. What's Leo?
He's very grounded. I would think for air it would be higher up. Yeah.
Well, it starts with Aries. So we start with the zodiac wheel. So Aries rules like the head. So if you have a lot of Aries in your chart, or an Aries rising, or an Aries sun that is aspected in a certain way, you're probably extremely prone to migraines, stuff like that. Taurus is the throat because it's the next sign. So you move down. Gemini is like your upper back, collarbones. And then Cancer is the stomach. And it just goes on like that, like through the.
So is the zodiac the
Leo's the heart?
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh.
Yeah,
that's nice.
What is Pisces? Yeah. Soles of the feet.
Feet.
Yeah. I don't know why this is.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's
like
so
especially
cool.
from the ailment standpoint. Like after the Shaky Grave show, it was. I don't like to like. Even wearing comfortable shoes, standing has always hurt me. Like even like as a young teenager, like playing, like as long as I'm running or moving, it's fine. But standing, fucking hurts. And so like after the Shaky Grave show, my fucking ankles hurt for 3 days. And you know how lame that made me feel.
You were
but
such an old lady.
I know. And it was just like, man, it killed. And they've always been that way my whole life. My stupid ankles just ache.
I don't like the implication that there's something wrong with my heart, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, no.
Macy.
No, not that there's something wrong. Just if something is to go wrong, it's your heart.
It will be your heart.
Wonderful. Yeah, no.
No.
Necessarily mean that another place, if we're looking for physical health, is we look at the 6th house. Because it has to do with health and vitality. So there's
Macy.
there's
where all my shit is. Yeah.
There's various areas in a chart for certain subjects that we can, all subjects that we can look at. It's never just going to be one house or one planet or one sign. Like, you're always going to look at a collective of things. But it also, when you look at transit charts, which is where everything is over your personal birth chart right now, like, you can be like, okay, well, if Uranus is transiting over my 1st house, for example, currently right now, I'm probably going to have an unexpected health issue because Uranus is about surprises. So you can kind of, when you get into more advanced astrology and you can like track your transits and stuff like that. I like to do it, and sometimes I don't, because I'm just like, I don't want to know.
I don't want that much information.
Yeah, I would think I'd do the same thing. Yeah, I'd go blind.
I prefer to go blind. I prefer to look at what's happening currently, or I just focus on natal astrology as opposed to transit astrology. But there's some amazing people out there that can tell you, amazing astrologers out there that can tell you lots of stuff that's going to happen.
Everything you'd ever want to know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just the question of, do you want to know?
Do you want to know?
I do not. Yeah.
No.
And then the final product will be a 30-minute podcast, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy long podcasts personally, like, because I like to like get in there, get comfortable, like, you get into it. Like, I listen to you guys when I hike, and I just go on long hikes, and it's perfect because they usually last the exact hike.
That's good to hear. That's nice to hear, because I know some people have have an aversion to long podcasts. Like, I'll get about halfway through something, and unless it's like a no sleep podcast where the story's constantly changing, or it's freshened up every once in a while. If it's just a really long subject about the same thing, I'm kind of like, I'll come back to this later. I can't do this right now. It's like I can't focus in on it for that long.
Yeah. Well, I personally like long podcasts, like, make me horny. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's gotta be meat that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, right? Like, they gotta get real into that subject. Like, it's like, see, and I'm like, how do they even scratch the surface in that amount of time?
I listened to the last podcast on the left, and they'll like dive in. Like, they did a great series on Aleister Crowley. And I wish I would have listened to it before I would have done the topic. It's like, because they did multiple episodes, it's like 6 hours total.
What podcast is that?
It's last podcast on the left. And it's like three guys. And they've covered everything. Like, they've covered everything. And I can't listen to like the true crime ones. Like, they'll cover like serial killer ones. And I can't do that. But they're great. Like, I mean, they go into shit. They'll go into, they have like, they've been at it for 10 years, and they have like researchers, and so like, it's like they're their own network, and they have a whole bunch. They're really an impressive story, but it's like, because they have these researchers, and like, it's just like, man, the Crowley episode is hysterical. And it's like, after listening to all of it, it complicates things with his, I don't know, coolness and validity, I guess you can say. Like, when you get all the way in the end of it, you're just like, man, he was kind of nuts. But at the same time, like, they're left like where everybody else is, but like, he had something, like, the dude had something, like, something was up,
Oh, after listening to the podcast, when you covered it, I frantically looked for documentaries to watch. I was like, how has no one done a documentary on this guy? Like, this is like a 3-part, 2-hour episode each documentary.
And
like,
I didn't even include any of the fucking mountain climbing, and like, I mean, dude, he's nuts. He's insane. So like, I do recommend that series. That was one of the first things I ever listened to that got me into them, because I was scrolling through their most recent, and I saw that one, and I was like, okay, let's find out.
Hello, my old friend. Let's get to know you another way. So we'll dive back into the Leo rising. So one thing with Leo risings is they really are meant to express themselves creatively in the spotlight. However, a lot of the time they can be more comfortable letting others shine or working in groups. And that's something that you can really try to work on, is that it's okay for it to be all about you, or like, I mean, not all the time, obviously, but like, it's okay for it to sometimes be all about you. And kind of your, like a Leo rising's mission in life is to really open their heart space. And you're going to hate this, but feel all the intense emotions that you try so hard not to feel.
I think I've been actively trying to do that for the past couple of years, like just trying to eke open, that gate.
Yeah.
So no, I can see that because it doesn't come easy. And so it is kind of a quest to get that to happen. Like how I joke about like not being able to cry. I fucking can't, like I can, like when like when Jorah died, I did, but collectively maybe for 10 minutes total spread in 30-second cry breaks over 6 months. It's like I can't do like a good weep. I can't imagine how good a good fucking weep has to feel.
So good.
Because you have to let go.
Get in the shower, put on some sad music.
Thing when you say crying in bursts, that's very much like short little bursts. Like that's like, oh my gosh, that was so intense. I can't go on with like I can't imagine going for an hour or something like that. Like you're doing it in little bite-sized chunks.
It does. Yeah. It gets it out. But yeah, it's almost like how I feel, almost my body too, like forces it a little bit. So you like, how they say like you yawn when your brain needs oxygen. Yeah. I feel like those little intense cries, like when Jorah had passed, it's like my brain was like, you got to do something, even if it's like 30 seconds. And it shut my brain down and made me
there immediately is just like,
and for about 30 seconds. And it's like, what happened? And just go about my business.
Well, I'm glad that you're working on that though, because it is, the combination of the Cancer moon and then having the Leo rising, it is being more comfortable with the emotion and not always having to kind of be in this either guarded or performance mindset.
Yeah. And performance is a good way to put in performance mode. I'm pretty non-susceptible to like emotional heaviness, as if I'm like mingling, I will, but performance is like, I feel like you're pushing out so much that you don't really receive too much, so I've always felt totally fine with that, like on stage and choir and things like that. It's like, even if it's a ton of people, didn't bother me at all. I've not thought about that before.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Performance is like a real keyword for Leo rising. And you do get a lot of, fulfillment from that and satisfaction from that. But the double-edged sword quality to it is that you were maybe not as present and feeling things like in the moment that you could be all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, as a collectively Leo rising, the performance aspect is wonderful. It's just being comfortable with your heart chakra, or like your heart, like Leo rules the heart, like we were saying. And being comfortable bringing that aspect out in projection and not just it being in performance.
Well, and it does help, like when I'm by myself, just kind of like seriously singing around the house, like trying to be good, in practice and whatnot. I do get a lot of emotion out that way. Whitney Houston, there's an interview of her and she says like, she sings every song that she would sing. She sang it as if like she was feeling those words like that, and I've, I've started trying to do that. And it's really, really beneficial. Like one, I think it makes for a better vocal performance, but it helps channel some of that out. And I think it's just kind of a newish practice I've started doing. And I think it is kind of a little way to sneak out some of that like emotional release, through something I'm just doing anyway, but it does make a difference to the music.
I love it. I love that you're doing that. And I love that was like sneaking it out.
Yeah. So my brain knows I'm trying to trick it, but it's letting it happen. It's like, fine, just here, take that. Sure.
It's like when you have a balloon and you squeeze the top and it's like,
yeah.
Just a little so it won't just explode. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, and that's the thing is like Leo risings, for all the performance and for all the grandeur that they can, and regality and intimidation and everything that can be emitted, it's actually a big challenge for them to love themselves unconditionally and not have those expectations for themselves. Like, I need to project this when I'm out in a group. I need to, this is my role. It's not always, you don't have to do it. Like, you can be off some days and you don't have to push yourself to perform.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a difficulty. Because too, I feel like if I'm not on, I am even more alien seeming. Like if I don't add my layers of animation on top of my lack of emotional expression, then I feel like I might just be a walking corpse. So I do always feel like around like in public or at things or when if I haven't seen someone for like Charlie has seen me schlep out of bed and just be an existing thing.
Yeah.
But that I have a soul. But for those that don't know, I feel like I need to spackle that on top just a little bit, just to let them.
A good example of exactly this is the first time we saw each other after COVID quarantine and all that for 200 and something days, 250 something
200
days.
I think 53 days, yeah.
I remember I showed up and there was no like big, oh shit, dude, haven't seen you in so long. I think we just kind of looked at each other and we just kind of like nodded, and I was like, that's, but I knew it was still like a big deal.
It was a big deal.
I do feel like if it was somebody else, there might have been more of like okay, hold on, let me a little bit, so they know that I am excited,
and you know me well enough to know that I wasn't just like, oh, hey, dude. Yeah. And just not caring at all. Yeah.
But I knew you were excited because you made a shit ton of bread.
I did. I pulled out the stops. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's that.
That's how I show my. Yeah.
I'm showing my love. I'm going to bake you something because I cannot express it.
That's the Cancer. What?
Also,
moon. Yeah.
Well, and too, doesn't that fall in, since all of my shit is in the 6th house, and that service as well? Is that the like?
Yeah, that is service. I think the Cancer moon. It depends on, you would probably be able to tell me more than I would be able to detect it. It could be service to others, but it also could be, I have trouble expressing my emotion this way, or I want you to know I feel this way, so I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. But I do definitely, I think, convey emotion the most through little acts like that, especially through food. I really, really like put a lot of care into cooking for people, like if I can.
Is acts of service your love language?
I think it is. It is both mine and Hunter's, which like makes us one. We're a very productive couple. But like, I mean, that's kind of, we're not super. We communicate super well, but we very rarely get over emotional or anything like that, And like, but in both in like lovey-dovey and anger, it's usually pretty cool in the middle, but we do things for each other, and it's kind of like that's how because I think we're pretty similar chart-wise too, and so it's like that's just how we do it.
That was the perfect segue into the next part, so thank you for that, because we're going to talk about Mercury and Venus now.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So Mercury and Venus, I always look at Mercury definitely in relationships because it is communication, but Venus is traditionally definitely the planet that's probably looked at the most for relationships of all kinds, not just romantic relationships, but friendships as well. Any kind of relationship that you have. So you have Mercury and Venus in Aquarius. So you're pretty standard, like from who you are, basic, and how you are in relationships. They really go hand in hand. But having Mercury and Venus in Aquarius can definitely add to that kind of eccentric, aloof demeanor in relationships, or not demeanor, like how people would see you. Like when they first get to know you, you first make friends with somebody, you still might come off as a little bit aloof.
Yeah. I don't try to win people.
No.
It's kind of a real, like, if you want to hang out with me, you're going to have to
take it or
act
leave it.
like it. Yeah, like I'm not gonna chase you down. And that's always been with friends and with partners.
Yeah, it's very independent. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you go do your thing and I'll go do mine type of individuals. Like, if you want to do this with me, tell me you want to do this with me. We can go do it together. But you're very like non-committal generally in terms of who you're choosing to do things with.
Yeah. Well, and there's also like a pride thing. Like, I don't know if this is like the Leo rising thing or what, but it's just like, even like if I super like want to be asked to go do something, I'm not going to ask. I'm going to have to be invited, or they're going to have to reach out to me. I'm not asking.
100% the Leo rising. That's like, oh, did my invitation get lost in the mail?
Like yeah, it's I'm not gonna ask. I'm never, it's like I could want to do something so bad and I could ask and I'd be like, yeah, come on. I'm never gonna ask ever.
Well, and that is very, they're both fixed. Sorry, go on, Charlie.
I was just gonna say, when someone finally does ask you if you've been wanting to, you'll just be like, yeah, man, whatever.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah,
sure, whatever. I might be busy. I don't know. I don't have to get back to you.
I have to check. Yeah.
You're a fucking cat.
Yeah, very much so. But the really positive thing I find with having Mercury and Venus in Aquarius, where you do look at those keywords of like emotionally detached or whatever, you're the person that everybody asks advice from. And it's because they want that cool, unemotional, and objective assessment of the situation or problem. Like, they're going to turn to you for an unbiased point of view.
Yeah. And that's we've kind of laid it out. We had a great conversation. It was me, Charlie, and Lyra. It was last time they were all at my house, and we were kind of talking about, you know, the roles, like, and how like Charlie and Lyra both make for excellent shoulders to cry on, and in situations where you want to go to someone to tell your feelings out and to know that you're not going to have to work. Like, they're going to let you get your feelings out and be like, you know what? No, you're great. Like, this is, you know.
Exactly.
And then you get cleansed with the water or whatever, with all the things, you know, and then you come to me and it's like, all right, but here's the thing, like, here's how you get out of it. And you did do this a little bit, like, this is kind of your fault, but here's how you fix it. It's like, then and I will do everything I can to work that out. But if you come to me crying, I'm going to be like, you missed a step. Go over there. Go find them and then come to me afterwards. I can't handle you. I don't know what to do.
Well, and that's fair enough, because when you look at Charlie and Lyra's charts, we have a lot of water and earth. Charlie's Taurus moon, she understands the value of emotional processing and the value there. They have both Pisces rising, which are like the best people to cry to. You know, and then you're like, go over there, see the Aquarius Capricorn lady now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, I guess
you've got your tears out. Yeah. Now you can handle the next part.
Yeah. And, you know, having Venus in Aquarius, it can mean you have a lot of casual friends. Like, you have a lot of people you know, but your personal group is probably much smaller in comparison. And that's how you like it, because, like, we talk about Aquarians being non-committal, but I actually find them, once they're committed, to be so committed.
Yeah.
That it's like, that's where they want to put all their energy. That's where they want to invest that time. Like, they'll still be nice to everybody and still call people their friends and like all that kind of stuff. But when you look at the actual people that they're investing time into, it's going to be a much smaller group.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always been that way. And like, Hunter's the same way, really. I mean, he doesn't have that many people, you know, and we kind of like, we're glad about that with each other, you know, because we're kind of the same way. Like, and, you know, like, I have Charlie and I have Lyra and I have Hunter, and then I have like my immediate family. And those are the really, really, really close ones, you know, like, one, of course, Clark, you know, like our little, you know, and that's about it. And like, we'll talk sometimes and be like, can you imagine like having more friends, like having even more, like, you have to spread, because like for us, like, friends are deeply emotional, you know, like it's if I can't fully trust you and kind of know that I can be full guard down, you know, you'll be an acquaintance, and that's, you know, I'll appreciate you, but I'm not gonna like open up to you like a very few amount of people. And I just can't imagine like having a lot of those, you know, that's just being opened up a lot. And I don't think I have that.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
It sounds, dude. does this have anything, what she was all talking about that, does that have anything also to do with like the Cancer moon? Because I feel like Macy's very like, if I can't eat fucking powdered donuts, you know, in my underwear on a couch with you, we're not friends.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah,
like you need to be able to see me as my true self, because I just would like maximum true self time if possible.
Well, Aquarians are very hard to get to know. And yeah, definitely coupled with the Cancer moon. I mean, and this is how astrology, this is the one thing I love about astrology. Like I have a Venus in Aquarius as well. However, my moon's in Leo in the first house. I'm just as committed as any Aquarius with their friends, but I've accumulated quite a lot. And I would call each of them, you know, a close friend because my partner makes fun of me all the time. He's like, you're never like, you're always meeting somebody and everyone's your best friend and you treat them all like your best friend, and they are. But that's the difference of like two moon signs being in two different signs in two different houses, but we have the same Venus. So yeah, so you can like, that's what I love is you can have the same placements as people, but it's so dependent on your whole chart. Everything affects each other. And that's why everybody's chart is so unique.
There's just so much information, dude.
I know.
I know.
I'm sitting here when you're talking, I'm listening, but there's like another side of my brain that's going, how did she remember this? Like, did you just like come out of the womb and start studying? Like,
I wish I had. I would be so much further ahead. I just started when I was like 18 or I was younger than that. I was probably like 16, 17. Yeah. And I got a book by Linda Goodman, who is like one of the like staple astrologists. Like she's passed away now for a long time. But she was, and then I found her website's chat room, and my brain was like, because it was just all these people are like, what's your rising sign? What's this? What's that? And I was like, I only have the sun sign book.
Yeah, I don't know what these words are.
Yeah. And so I was like, but this is fascinating. So I just since then have read absolutely everything I could get my hands on, and repetition. And like I think I mentioned before when we recorded the other time, like having it's being aware, having like, I have that spreadsheet of everybody's placement. Like, it's like you like fucking eat, sleep, breathe it. And then, and it becomes like a lens with how you see the world.
That
like
is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing is everything is broken down into these archetypes. And these kind of mathematical equations or scientific equations, I guess you could say, of, well, there's this, and that. And it just slowly becomes your like everything. Like if you go down that road, it will, and you get really into it, it will become that. But it's an incredible tool. I mean, when I sold cars, like, I don't know if this is ethically right, but information that was offered to me, so I feel like it is. I had to check people's driver's licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would take a look I wouldn't pull up their charts or anything like that, but I would take a look at their sun sign and be like, oh, they're Cancer. They're going to need to be coddled into this sale. They're not going to make the decision right away. They're going to come back 2 to 3 times.
Gemini, I just think that's being savy.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, I'm like, that's just a good sales.
Like, using the information you have at your hands.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how well it worked. And I looked at it too, as it provided me to give better service, because I wouldn't push a Cancer to make a decision right away. So I would know they needed to come back. A Gemini, you wouldn't
want to like argue with an Aquarius. I feel like
no, they're right, and they're always buying a hybrid. So environmentally friendly. Yeah, Geminis close those fuckers the first time they come in, because they will never come back.
Interesting.
Can I ask about Leo? So, can I?
Oh, Leo, compliment them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You look so good in this car.
Yeah, you would look great in this. It fits you.
Let me tell you, that would work on me 100%. I would go home. I would drive home feeling like that bitch.
Yeah, $100, right? So yeah, I mean, and that's just an example of how you can use it. Like astrology is so many tools. It's amazing. Like in relationships, I mean, like when you want to look at how you are in relationships, when you want to do shadow work, when you want to go buy something, like there's so many ways you can apply astrology to like shit you do every day.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, you don't have to start studying right away. Anybody, it's just, you start to live it, and then that's how it sticks, and that's how you get it, I guess.
I definitely see the value of like the shadow aspect, like just in what we've learned, and like the deeper too that I get into like the Leo side, the Leo rising side, like I just feel like there's a lot there that makes things a little bit more difficult, like that would be nice to kind of learn how to navigate through. I could see the value in it and that fucking moon. So I mean, like like.
Well, and we haven't even dived into aspects yet. I mean, like in shadow work, aspects are a huge part of it, and that's how the planets integrate. Charlie, what do you say? You're laughing at
I'm just laughing at the whole situation. I just like Macy was just like, it's just very Macy to be like, how do I shut that Leo side the fuck up?
Well, like how do I quiet all that down, because it gets noisy.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's the thing, and I feel like the more you learn about your chart, the more work you do with it, you do become more self-aware, like just inevitably, because you start pegging behavior. You have names for behaviors, and it makes it a little bit easier. And let's face it, more interesting to remember. So it slowly overtakes you bit by bit until you're just like made out of stars. Like, but I want to get to your Mars and Capricorn, because we have a lot of Capricorn energy going on for you in the 6th house. So you have Neptune in Capricorn, you have Mars in Capricorn, and you have Uranus in Capricorn. So when we have 3 planets in one sign, that's called a stellium. So it's a very concentrated energy of that sign. So you have a lot of Capricorn energy going on. And that's when I mentioned before, like when you were like, oh, I'm born on the cusp. So on the pod, you mentioned like I'm born very near to the Capricorn date or something like that. But
I think so. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, no, like that's your stellium. Like I was listening while I was walking, and I was like, nope, that's your stellium. We'll talk about that. So that's your Capricorn stellium. Especially I want to touch on Mars, because I consider Mars personally, I mean, every astrologer has kind of their certain aspects of a chart that it's not like it's their favorites, but you're like, oh no, it tells a lot about a person. Like I'm really drawn to Mars because Mars is our force and our will and our drive and our aggression. So I find it's probably one of my favorite planets to dive into. Charlie, yours was in Aries, which is the cardinal fire sign. And then Macy's is a cardinal sign as well. Capricorn is cardinal, but it is Earth. So like I was saying, Mars is the planet of energy, reigns over our willpower, our enterprising spirit, vitality, how we take action. Also has a lot to do with what we find attractive in the opposite sex or the same sex, or like whoever you're attracted to, because it has a lot to do with our sex drive as well. So Mars in Capricorn, there's a real quiet strength to this placement, and people know just instinctively not to mess with it. It's not like that, beating on the chest like force or like a roaring force, but it is very sure and collected. And
people think I'm much bigger than I am. And I've been told that a lot. Like when I tell people my height, like even my boss, like when I quit, he was very, very tall, like 6'5" or something like that. And he hugged me like on my very last day, and we never hugged before or anything like that. But we'd worked together for 3 years, and he hugged me and he was like, my God, you're small. Like I never realized it, and that's happened a lot. It's just like, I'll tell people I'm 5'2" and they're like, no, you're not. But it just, seems to be, plus I'm kind of upright. I have like a cockwalk a little bit. Yeah.
You've got like scrappy energy too. Like I feel like you wouldn't want to like.
It comes from my mom. I walk like my mom. I stand and walk like my mom.
There's
And she
like
has this like strut.
And it's almost that like, I don't want to be insensitive, but what I call like the serial killer calm when somebody gets mad, you know?
Like, no, absolutely. That's absolute you nailed it, Charlie. That's Capricorn and Mars energy. There's just this like,
is that what you wanted to say to me? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do it now. Watch me go. Take notes, maybe. Okay. Like, because Capricorn is real boss energy. Like, it's not that regal energy like a Leo. It's not like the same kind of energy. Capricorn's more like a boss. I'm here to get shit done. Is everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing? Like, you know, is everybody fulfilling their role here? Like, that's very Capricorn-y energy.
Very put you in
Capricorn.
Your place.
Yeah, but I'm not going to yell at you to put you in your place. I'm not going to react to whatever you're doing. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And you're probably going to do it because I'm a Capricorn. Like,
well, I mean, that makes sense. One of the first things said on this show ever on the podcast was Charlie saying, I am terrified of you, Macy.
Being a full 7 foot taller than you and also just much bigger in general, you scare the shit out of me.
And it was only just because you rattled some papers. All you did was just rattle a few papers. And I guess I remember I went, what are you doing?
What are you doing over there?
You're getting in the way of our efficiency, Charlie. Damn it.
This is all making too much.
It makes sense.
Well, a great thing with Mars and Capricorn, I mean, generally Capricorn likes a challenge, but when you put it like Mars, the planet of action, in the sign of Capricorn, you come alive when there's resistance. Like you're like, oh, really? Well, let me achieve this and show you how it's supposed to be done. You know, like there's a real like love for that kind of, you know, oh, you don't think I can do it? Or like, you're going to do this the wrong way. Well, I'm going to do it the right way. And I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think that's how I stayed at my last job as long as I did, because it was just every day it was a conundrum. And, you know, you can't get that bored if you have to fucking fix shit every day. Yeah. And I kind of liked it for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we look at like Mars, which is aggression and like our tempers, Capricorn is very self-controlled. So you're not one to fly off the handle like right away, anything like that, unless it hits a hot topic, different story. But generally you can process things very, like the mountain goat. Like Capricorns signify, or the symbolism behind it is the mountain goat. So they're climbing these walls with like nothing to stand on. It's like, how are they?
Yeah, it's weird how they do that.
Yeah, like, and you're just like, oh my God, like that Capricorn energy is like that.
So then Mars in Capricorn.
Yeah.
You said that is things like will and like drive and stuff. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm retaining.
You're like categorizing it right in your head. Yeah. So it's energy, willpower, temper, aggression, sex drive. You know, it has a lot to do because it is our sex drive with what we're attracted to. So you wouldn't find anybody inefficient very attractive.
You're right.
That's not. You would be more so, you know, attracted to somebody that has a strategy, somebody that has a reason for everything that they do, has fortitude to get out of difficult situations.
When I don't like tempers. Like, and I used to have a worse one. And every now and again, when I do lose it, I like hate it. I hate when I lose my temper. I fucking hate it. You know, and like I'll regret it for days. Even if it's just like a little, not even like an actual, but like just like an admission of frustration. I'm like, God damn it. And I regret it forever. So I don't like I don't like fluctuating emotions. And I guess that's the Capricorn thing is I be a cool customer. I would prefer a partner that is also a cool customer.
Yeah.
Isn't the thing with Capricorns kind of like steadfastness, steadiness, like
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that comes in again, like a Mars and Capricorn person is not going to be in and out of a lot of relationships usually. They want to have that, okay, you're my partner. We're going out to do this. This is how we work as a team. This is how we achieve things together. It's very much that kind of pragmatic energy towards, that kind of people you would be attracted to and what you envision for your life together as a couple is going to be a lot more pragmatic. Whereas, for example, your Mars and Aries, Charlie, is a lot more excitable. It's like, oh my God.
Like romantic.
Yeah. Oh, Fire is very romantic. Like very much so.
Maybe
Earth
not
is
smart, but pretty romantic.
A good time.
A good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a long time.
It's Mars and Capricorn. It's like, where they're lackluster in enthusiasm, they make up for in solid purpose.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be the most excitable person, but your purpose is very strong, very solid.
My favorite thing is when Macy gets excited about something. Like when she like about this, like when we were writing each other, we were like, oh, I'm so fucking excited. Like that fires me up. Because I'm like, if she's excited, then it's
like when you've hit that, like what is it, like on the bar, you're like, okay, we've got Macy excited. Like,
it's okay to be excited now.
Yeah.
And one quick trigger thing, which we've joked about a couple times, but with Mars and Capricorn, trigger is inefficiency.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. If
something is being done a stupid way, you're just like twitching, and that's where you might lose your temper.
Yeah, I don't like wasted time. It's wasted time. If you want to boil down my ultimate trigger into one, it's wasted. I hate wasted time. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and I can handle so much. But God damn it, that's what sends me every time, every single time. And it's so silly. And then like afterwards, I'll just be like, that was not a big deal. But it's like in the moment, just it just will send me. I don't know why.
Well, it's about the principle. It's about the principle. Yeah.
It's the principle of the thing.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll move into the MC and the IC. So, on your charts, you'll see the points. You'll know exactly where to find it now. We have the MC at the top by the beginning of the 10th house, and then IC at the bottom by the beginning of the 4th house.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are 2 points that lie at opposite ends of your natal chart. The midheaven's at the very top, and that's where the sun is at its highest peak during the day. And then the IC is the lowest point, which is directly under that, which represents like midnight in time, or when the sun is dark. So like I mentioned before, I really look at this like a tree, the IC being the roots and, the beginning of life. It represents our first impression of life. It's our very, very most private space. There's a lot of vulnerability there. It's something I touch upon in shadow work, and it's part of the reason I'm not digging too deep into the IC for like these consults. Is this just probably not something you would want on the podcast? It's a lot more private. And then the 10th house, the beginning of the 10th house up by the MC, that is a very public persona. It's the exact opposite of the IC. This is where we really want to light our personality up. This is how we want to be seen at work, on the stage, on the internet, in groups, on a podcast. It's our reputation and what we really want to be known for, and what we're going to grow into, like the top of a tree, what we're achieving to grow into, for example. It can also represent father as well in astrology too, when you're looking at a whole chart. But a Scorpio IC is the most private IC that you can get.
I'm just in a prison of myself.
Yeah, you literally.
I'm learning that as we're going through this.
Like, bars on bars on bars, and then you're
God.
Yeah, the most secretive. So traits of having a Scorpio IC, being very secretive about like your family, and yourself, wanting your home to be very private. You're not necessarily a person that's going to want to have a huge party in your house. For example, like people you're very close with, different story, hosting like your very close friends and family, but like having a bunch of acquaintances in your house coming in and out would be something that I think would absolutely horrify you.
It would stress me out a lot.
Yeah.
It would eat me alive. And I don't, well, here's the thing. Like, I do see my house as an entity, you know, and like she willingly, this house shares its energy with you. You walk into it, and I like to think, because it does it to me, and I feel like you just get enveloped in coziness. That's what it wants to do. This house Peggy wants to take care of you. That's what she wants to do. That's what she's been encouraged to do. Yeah, it's her name. That's my house, Peggy.
I love it. It's a pretty reliable sounding name.
She really is. And she wants to take care of you, and she pours a lot of energy, and we work together a lot. I give a lot of, and the thought of her just like me bringing people in for her to like, not, you know, waste that energy on, but she might be, I don't know these people, you know, like I don't like that as much. Like to bring someone to my home, I feel like I have to know them pretty well. I don't want people like, oh, hey, yeah, we're in town. My friend's in town too. Do you mind if like they come with us? Yes, I do mind. I don't want your strange friend at my house. No.
100%. Thank you for describing Scorpio IC for me. I'm suspicious of y'all.
I'm suspicious of everyone. That's the thing. My fucking tinfoil hat is essentially a 10-gallon hat. Like, it's huge, you know? And
dude, what a photo
I just don't trust anyone. Yeah, dude, we should make fucking cowboy hats out of tinfoil. That would be the best. Okay. But yeah, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone at all. Like I trust Charlie. I trust Hunter. But if I don't trust you, the last thing I want you to just come to my fucking house.
Yeah. This is a very big group of people you don't trust. Which is very Scorpionic. That's a Scorpio IC 100%. Very intense family bonds are a part of this. You're going to want to do your whole family's parts, dudes. It's something that once you get into it, you're like, I now like want to peek into this person's psyche, and like,
are you the way you are? Yeah.
Like it's so, and it's amazing doing family astrology. I think I mentioned that the last time we were recording too. It like you can see almost a astrological family tree. Like you'll have guaranteed the same placements as a lot of people in your family, or the same sign in a different placement. Like my mom's a Leo moon. My dad's a Pisces sun. I'm a Pisces sun with a Leo moon. Mm-hmm. Charlie, you said your mom is a Gemini, your IC is Gemini, which represents the mother. Like there's so much that you can just start, you know, drawing all these lines between similarities between you and your family. Like that my brother's a Leo rising. So we have 2 Leo moons, Leo rising. You know, we have 3 Libra moons. Like there's so much stuff. It's really cool.
Also explains why we have so many goddamn Sagittarius in the family.
A lot of Sagittarius. Good God. And everybody's loud and performing and arguing and
a lot of arguing, kind of flighty,
talking over each other.
Yeah.
And like the family too, like you just talk, like nobody winds up like angrily shouting, but you just talk louder than the person next to you. And eventually everyone's just shouting their words because you can't get heard if you don't.
It's like
and
that
it's very,
We're all very, very, very loud people.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fire. I mean, just in between the Hunter, Clark, and you two, there's a lot. And then, isn't your brother a Sag, Macy?
Yes, he is. And he is like the saggiest of the Sag.
That's
man.
a hell hell of a lot of fire energy going on there.
What is
That's
Roger?
where it's at everybody talks louder than each other.
Yeah.
Roger's an Aquarius.
Who's ever Roger's?
Yeah, because his birthday is the day
so
before
is
mine.
Papa, and so is Hunter.
Yeah, he's an Aquarius too. Yeah, and Hunter, we have a big Aquarius. It's like Aquarius and Sag. That's like the big, which is funny because you said they argue. They like don't quit when they argue. Yeah,
with either of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. It's really cool. It's really neat, and you'll see it. And that's what I mean. The more you start to get into it, the more you'll see it, and the more you'll realize, and then just you'll spend every day being like, "What the fuck?" So, and you're really good at like handling cycles of conflict and healing in your family life. Like you're really good at facilitating space for that. So when you have a Taurus midheaven, which is one of the actually placements in your chart, Macy, that I see. I mean, it is a public placement. It is something that is more so out in the open, but I see it very strongly. This is a fixed earth sign. So when we're thinking of the midheaven, which has a lot to do with what we want to do for our career, how we want to be remembered, how we want our reputation to be, how we want to project ourselves out into the world, what we want to be remembered for. Your mission in life is to build something extremely solid and tangible for yourself. No matter what you would do with your life, you would want to see tangible results. And it's not to say you couldn't even go the artsy route and be an artist, which is actually a very popular choice for a Taurus midheaven because it's ruled by Venus, which has a lot to do of art. But you're like, no, you're still going to have goals and structures of like, I want to sell this many paintings this year, or I need goals and results in when I go after it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that resonates with you?
It does. Yeah, it does. Well, and just even like the tangibility, especially just like, for instance, like right now we're in 2 years now of homesteading and like trying to build this compound that can, take care of us and whatnot. And it's incredible how much time it takes. When I was younger, you hear people being like, oh, we've lived here for 30 years. And it's like, man, that just seems impossible. But once you start working on something like that, you just realize it is so possible. We're 2 years in and we only have this. And so it's like, I could see me doing that before I know it, building this compound physical place, that's like a testament. And I have a question. So this year, I don't really know dick about astrology, but I've been paying attention to the seasons, and I came alive in Taurus season this year. And I was like telling Charlie about it. And like, I know a lot of people had a hard time this, but I told her, I was like, man, dude, I'm just like, it was when I first like woke back up, I feel like, cause I was really run ragged after I quit my job and I kind of had to emotionally build back up. And then it's like Taurus season hit and I just snapped into place. And I was just, if that, because you hear about it like with your sun sign, like but like if the seasons themselves also can affect, your little placements and it amplifies those parts.
Absolutely. So yes, it can amplify certain parts of your chart. It depends what could have been going on too with your transit chart at the time. So for example, while we were in Taurus season, you could have had a conjunction or a sextile or a trine happening with your Taurus midheaven at that time. That could have given you that energy. It also replenishing for you, like Earth is a very high element in your chart. You are more Earth actually than you are. I'm just flipping back to your chart here so I can look at the asterisks here. You're more Earth than you are air.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that because I've thought that it was the other way around and I just feel so earthy, and it just seemed a little strange.
Yeah. No, you're more Earth than you are air. And then, I thought I had Charlie's. I want to, hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull up Charlie's here. I think, Charlie, you were all fire. Yeah. Your fire slightly outweighs your water, but you're actually, mostly fire. You have a little bit of air, a little bit of earth.
It's funny. Like I've literally never really looked. I mean, I had like that app CoStar for a little while, but I didn't know what anything meant. And I didn't really look into it and blah, blah, blah. But I have always just like intuitively felt like, oh yeah, fire and water. That's the jam. Just like knowing.
I wonder if that's why you run hot. Well, you're hot all
I'm
the
just
time.
hot all the time.
Yeah.
It's why I'm
Absolutely.
hot all the time and crying at the same time. It's all
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
She's just a
and
hot,
crying.
watery mess walking around.
You wear your goop's on the outside. My goop's on the inside.
Very goopy on the outside. Could there be a more messy combination than fucking
Could there be a more enthusiastic one? Probably not.
Hey, and that's valuable because look, you could be me, dude. It could be soup. We need both because that's the thing. I feel like that's what makes the duo work.
Shit,
if it was two of me, like if it was two of me, I feel like it could be like, and if it was like over, it could be too much. If it was like, two of you, I think you need both. You get the kinda,
absolutely. Elementally, you both balance each other out. Like Macy, you're all air and earth, and Charlie's all fire, water.
Lit.
I know, it's cool shit, right?
It's exciting. I've got nothing to say. It's just cool.
It is really cool. Oh yeah, Taurus midheavens. There's no romanticizing the struggle or the hardship. You just accept what needs to be done to attain your goals. Like, oh, the struggle is so romantic. You're going to be like, no, like the struggle sucks, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say I'm very good at doing that.
Yeah,
like it's I was able to kind of set myself up young. Like I kind of, and it depends on the personality. Like to some, I might have wasted my early 20s doing boring shit. But to me, it was like, I'm just going to grind out some unpleasant years and set up so I can coast early, And it was like,
I can't think of a more Taurus thing to say.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but it was like, I just did it. And it was just, I spent about 2.5 years, not thoroughly enjoying it. But after that, it's been great. But I did just kind of was like, all right, well, this is it for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you were supposed to do. Taurus midheavens also, they have, and this is where I see this in you a lot too, is there's a real consideration for the preservation of objects, thoughts, stories, feelings, everything that you own. Taurus has a lot to do with ownership. You're very interested in how to preserve it, why it was created, and the importance of being knowledgeable of how that happened and how to continue it.
Mm-hmm.
If the whole thing here is, because you said something about this particular, what is it? You said Taurus midheaven here, having a lot to do with like career, or it says here, what does it say here? Persistent quest for career. Like I see that a lot. I see that a lot with the way that you approach podcast is just sort of understanding how everything's come about and like what works and what doesn't, and how to kind of keep trajectory. And so that's cool to see that kind of come together.
Right.
It's cool. Yeah. It I can be pretty I feel like too, another way that Charlie and me work together is that sometimes I can be a bit all business, and I'll catch myself taking things a bit too seriously. To where it's like, I will slip into that to where it's like, almost, it's ridiculous. It's like, it's still a podcast at the end of the day, chill out, and I feel like that's really good with Charlie is she helps kind of like pull, we help each other, that kind of grounds Charlie back in, but Charlie also like helps me chill out, and just kind of enjoy it. Yeah. And I think that works really well, what was Charlie's midheaven?
Midheaven is Sagittarius, which is that very optimistic, very freedom-loving, buoyant, like energy that just wants to expand everything and explore all the possibilities and really, really upbeat energy.
Mm-hmm. I think they work. They pair nicely.
They pair nicely, and you're correct because if it was two of you, it would be. I feel like a very. It would be. I
wouldn't want a partner like me.
Full ass business. I feel like it would be.
I would not tolerate a partner like.
Well,
myself.
I wouldn't tolerate a partner. Me because it would just be flighty and flaky, and it would be all ideas, but nothing would actually get done. Yeah, we're perfect together.
Well, there you go. It's like it was in the stars.
Cosmic alignment.
I can be cheesy when I want to be.
Yeah, still in the dry, jokey way. Sorry to make you choke on your drink there. But speaking of written in the stars, I did take a quick peek into something over the weekend that Charlie mentioned about her and Lyra. So my goal was to try and do it for all three of you and every pairing up, but unfortunately I did not get the chance to do that this weekend. But I did do Charlie and Lyra because you had mentioned, Charlie, that you think that you and Lyra have past lives together.
Yeah, I was hoping this is where this was going.
Well, I'm interested in this too because the meeting of Lyra was cosmic, and like when I met Lyra, it was cosmic. I don't know any other word to say it. At the moment I met her, I was like, it was special, and so she's, I think she is part of this like family's soul, when it comes to reincarnation, like how they say groups reincarnate together.
Yeah,
I think she is one because I knew her. She was so familiar to me to where like the night that I met her, I called my mom and I only met her for 5 minutes. It was a fucking sorority, like round table recruitment. And I called my mom and I was like, I met this girl, and like, I don't make friends very easily, and I was just like, I don't really know her, but she was just fascinating. And I don't do that, and I just, then after Charlie or Lyra, I don't remember who, I think Lyra was told that her and Charlie knew each other in a past life. That made all the sense in the world to me. It just made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that it does happen in groups because we are meant to teach each other karmic lessons. Not that it has to happen in groups, but I think a lot of the time it does. And when we're looking into astrology for past lives and stuff like that, generally you're going to look into the 12th house. And then I look into this, what's called the South Node, which is representative of past lives. We can find out wounds from past lives with Chiron. However, I find the South Node sheds a little bit more light on that. I like working with the nodes, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them before we get into that. So, because let me throw another new piece of information at you, right? So one of my favorite pieces really to work at with a chart to interpret are the nodes of the moon. So generally I do focus on these more so in a shadow or life purpose consult, but they are really great to use with synastry stuff as well, which is what we're looking at with Charlie and Lyra. So the nodes of the moon themselves are not planetary bodies. They are points that are formed by the moon's orbit around the Earth, intersecting with the Earth's paths around the sun. So the direction of the nodes is counterclockwise. The north node is the ascending node, the point closest to our North Pole. And the north node's purpose is to exert a positive influence of the sign and house that it is found in. It's like considered our pathway in this life. It is lessons we are meant to learn during this life. And then the south node is the descending node, which is the point, of course, closest to our South Pole. And its effect can be to inadvertently drain energy from its area of influence. So whatever sign or house it is in. And it represents lessons that we have to learn in this life that we have carried through from a past life. So I know that was just a whole lot of information I just threw at you.
Are the nodes on this map?
Yes. So the north node is, the south node is always 180 degrees away. So it's always directly opposite. So Charlie, yours is very important, your south node. No, they always are, but yours is in your first house. Oh. So it's actually in your house of self.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is it the little what is the symbol? Like, that's what I was wondering. Yeah. It looks like a little,
like it's like a little, yeah. So that's the north node. So yours, Macy, is in the second house, in the sign of Virgo, which is right off the bat, I can say you need to let go of some of that perfectionism. And Charlie,
I agree.
Charlie, yours is in, where's your north node here? In Pisces, which is actually the same as mine, but mine's in a different house. Yours is in the first house. And then they make aspects to all your planets, just like all the planets make aspects to each other. That's a really fascinating piece of astrology to dive into. I generally use it the most with my life purpose consults, because it's what we're meant to grow into, learn, and achieve karmically in this life. But with shadow work, I dive into the South Node because that's all the crap. So
the nodes like shooketh Lyra. Like I remember, like after she got a reading done with you, like she came at me like asking, because she knows more than I do, but she came asking me like wanting shit. She was like, I need to know what your North Node is, and I was like, what the hell is a node? What is a North Node? What are you saying to me? But like she was super, it like really resonated with her. Like she like dove into the nodes pretty hard after that.
they're a fascinating piece of astrology. You can I could do a consult just looking at your nodes. Like that's how much information is there and the aspects that the nodes are making. They lots of people share a sign that the node is in. Lots of people from 1988 and 1989 have a Pisces North Node, but it's going to vary in what house it's in and the aspects it's making to all your planets. So it's just like the idea of a sun sign as, oh, we have, 2 Leo suns, but they can be drastically different people. So you kind of need someone to interpret them a little bit. But they're what I look like, or what I look at. Not that I do synastry astrology often. Like, here's my disclaimer. I don't practice it regularly. I do toy around with it. I'm okay. I'm pretty decent at it. Would not call myself an expert though.
Sure.
That's my disclaimer. But when I do use the nodes mainly. So for Charlie and Lyra, Lyra's North Node falls into Charlie's 9th house, and Charlie's North Node falls into Lyra's 12th house. So immediately there we have 12th house action, which is past lives as well. So that was a big indicator to me that, yes, there was a shared past there that is karmically coming about again.
No,
I love it.
Confirmation.
Oh, yeah. And then you have a lot of other aspects going on. You have Charlie's North Node is conjunct Lyra's Saturn. Charlie's South Node is also conjunct Lyra's Chiron. So I'm not going to get into the Chiron stuff because I just out of respect for Lyra and privacy. Sure. Yeah, Chiron's pretty, it's your wounding and stuff like that. So we're not going to get into that. But it is a very powerful aspect. So there's definitely a lot of karmic stuff between you guys. Yeah. But
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the North Node conjunct Lyra's Saturn, I can go a tiny bit into that. So it is definitely a karmic connection where the Saturn person, which would be Lyra, and the North Node person, which would be Charlie, so the North Node person is meant to help the Saturn person release from limitations and really successfully come old constraints. And there's a very natural, deep bond that happens there. I would love to dive into it more, but out of respect
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I did have time to quickly pull up Macy and Lyra's. I can just tell you the aspects. Macy, your North Node falls into Lyra's 7th house, which is you're really here to help her with relationships.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sure. Lyra's North Node falls into your 4th house, whereas she's meant to help you in home and feelings of security and emotional security and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
She's definitely significant. I mean, pretty much as we've spent the past 2 hours talking about how I process people and interactions, I don't meet people and feel like, I mean, and it's like, I'll meet people that I enjoy, but I only have met 2 people in my life that I was had that earth shaking feeling of it. And it's Lyra and Hunter, and it's I grab onto them. Yeah. So there's something significant. It wasn't just,
I wonder if Hunter's in your 4th house as well. That would be so interesting to look at.
If his what?
If his North Node was in your 4th house as well, you wouldn't really be able to look it up. A little bit of math goes into it. You might be able to find a generator out there on the internet that does it. But yeah, so that was a little dip into that with Lyra's stuff. And yeah, that's kind of all I had planned. Do you guys have any questions?
Oh, I have one big question that I've had from the beginning and I've had always when it comes to astrology and with anything really is always, I'm always like, but why though? You know? So I guess my big question is for anybody out there who's not sure why or they're just getting into astrology or anything like that is why does it matter? Where things are placed when I was born, how does that physically, like, how does that affect me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, what's the theory of it? Like, how is
like
it?
What is it besides just more, oh, that's where they were? How does it actually kind of building block you into a person?
Well, how do I explain this in the like most understandable way?
Yes, so explain like I'm 5 also, like, please.
Yeah. 5.
So your birth chart is a snapshot of the sky where everything was from the second you were born, right? All the stuff up in the sky has its own symbolism. It's just, it's your chart because that's when you were born. It's a snapshot of the sky at that time. There's no way to prove astrology.
Right.
Unless it's like you study it and then you choose to believe in it. And it is so closely tied with astronomy. In a lot of ways. And then in some ways it's the meaning is different. Like astrology is astronomy with meaning. I think is the best way to describe that, I guess. Is that kind of what you...
Yeah, no, that's clear. Yeah. Because,
so then it's not as much like the gravitational pull of Jupiter where it was when you were born. No. It's the symbolism. It's just like the placement of the heavenly bodies kind of lays out a suggestion of your person.
You choose, I guess, to believe in that or not. I mean, I do believe in like, you know,
the
like
poles kind of doing things.
I mean, we look at the tides in the ocean, right?
Right.
Yeah. I relate to that when they talk about like, you know, when that's the same thing with like retrogrades and shit, right? Like that's what it's doing is okay.
Yeah, it appears to be moving backwards. That's how we're feeling the energy. You know, with a retrograde, everything with astrology is from our point of view on Earth. So that's a big thing to remember, especially when you get into like astrology versus astronomy. Like, actually, I did do further digging into how the signs, Charlie, you were asking about how the signs, like NASA came out and was like, there's a 13th sign and all.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to comment on before too much because I was like, oh, I'd have to go back and read exactly why that came out again. Like because it was quite a while ago. It was like 2004 or something like that. So I looked into it at the time, but I really haven't looked into it since then. So I did a little refresher and actually, so what happened, like the whole thing behind that, this will give you guys a little bit of an idea. The reason I would bring it up now, the difference between astronomy and astrology, because it was astronomers that said that, not astrologers. An article like NASA came out with this proclamation or whatever. There's only 12 signs in the zodiac. That's how the zodiac was interpreted or designed, how the map was designed thousands and thousands of years ago. So what happened was NASA came out and said, oh, there's a 13th constellation that crosses the ecliptic, which is like the celestial highway that the planets travel along in their orbits around the sun. And the NASA site kind of went on to explain that, oh, the Babylonians divided the ecliptic into 12 equal parts, like cutting a pizza into 12 equal slices, for example. And that's how the sky contains the zodiac. And then they went on to explain, oh, there's 13, not 12 constellations in the zodiac. I cannot say the name of the constellation that they came up with to save my life. It's like Ophiuchus or something like that. And they said, well, the Babylonians left out this sign as a matter of convenience. And then when they did their own math with all that, looking at the degrees of the constellations and yada, 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 it was like, oh, there's only 7 days that you can be a Scorpio. And then there's a 45-day transit through Virgo. Like, it was a lot of stuff they were saying changed. But the truth of it is the zodiac used by Western astrologers is based on the seasons, not the constellations. So astrologers know the planets go around the sun But astrology, like I just said, is earth centered. So we mark the movement of the planets against the 4 seasons on earth as calculated by the spring, autumn equinoxes and the summer and winter solstice. That's why the last time we did the recording, I was like, if you're born on like the day the sun changes signs, depending on when the solstice is or the equinox is, it might vary a day or two. So it's not always the exact same. The signs of the zodiac are derived from, but not aligned with the constellations. Okay. They did align about 2000. I mean, it's always 2000 years ago. I feel like when we're talking about time, when it was a long time,
yeah,
2000 years ago. So I'm saying 2000 years ago. So back then, yes, they were aligned. But the constellations in the sky at the start of each season have changed over those 2000 years. However, your sign has not. So if you were a Sagittarius, you are still a Sagittarius, period. That has not changed. There cannot be a 13th sign in the zodiac because the zodiac was created as a mathematical abstraction to divide the sky into 12 equal parts, independent of what the stars or constellations may appear there. So it doesn't matter how many constellations touch the ecliptic, there's only 12 signs. And as the earth continues to, wobble, it's also slowly moving, these constellations are going to continue to separate from the zodiac. I think it's like the rate of 1 degree every 72 years or something like that, as the equinoxes and the solstices continue to deviate from fixed stars. So I know that was a lot of like blah, 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 blah jargon, but yeah, we astrologers were looking at it from Earth and it's derived from, but not aligned with the constellations. So when NASA brought out this new constellation, Cosmopolitan magazine decided to write an article about it and confuse everybody.
Yeah. I think that's like literally how I saw it. Yeah. Or like something on MySpace. Yeah.
Oh, it went viral. It was huge.
I remember it. I remember reading it, and I remember it started with an O. And it was like a medical. It was like a medical person or something like that. I want to say.
I think the symbolism was like some sort of serpent or something.
It was the staff and serpents. It was like the medical staff and serpents. I remember when that came out, and then that did. I mean, it threw me off for years and years and years and years, and still, I mean, even just until a little bit before this reading, it kind of made me more skeptical of astrology because I was like, how does it work if there's no actual set dates? But that makes sense, like what you just.
Well, and that's the thing, and it like even when that first came out, it was like 2004, I think. So I was just really starting on my astrology journey, like near around that time, and I remember reading it and being like,
"What the fuck do I do with this?"
Pull through everything I believe in, like
Thank you for clearing that up because that has long been something that I was like, I'm dropping it. Like I just refuse. I do love the idea of just sort of going back to you being born under this snapshot of how everything looks and it being sort of like, I don't know, for some reason in my mind, I started to see it as like a rune mat almost. And it's
that's kind of how I see it.
Like where your stars were thrown, is how it's like a big, it's like the ultimate
casting
reading.
mat.
Yeah.
Well, and it's amazing because I did my first charts. The first time I ever actually got my hands on a chart of twins was a little while ago.
Whoa.
And that was something I know as an astrologer, I hadn't had the like experience of getting my hands on like a pair of twins birth charts. Not a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine ordered a reading for her husband, and her husband's a twin. So I was like, would you mind getting me the brother's exact birth time too? Like, would that be okay? Like, I'm not going to share it with anybody, but like, I just want to
I would want to know. Yeah.
Want to do it. So there were differences. They were born 15 minutes apart, gave them different rising signs. Because the rising sign changes every 2 hours. Yeah. Gave them different aspects because it moved everything slightly.
Shit.
Yeah. So it was really cool and interesting. Like to get my hands on it and explore that. And like, again, it's every little bit like, yes, I believe in it 100%. I trust I trust it. But even then sometimes like you get something and I'm like, are they going to be the exact same? Because they are different. And then I pull it up like, oh,
yeah,
like
got it.
Oh, again. Like,
how do you feel, Mace? Do
Well,
you feel,
I feel good. I feel pretty inspired. I want to go into it. I feel validated. Pretty significantly. Because it just made a lot of things make sense.
if you're like what I did after mine, and the way we're recording this, it's been 3 days, I guess, since we did mine, something like that. But I've nonstop just had it kind of low grade simmering in the back of my mind.
Simmering, stewing. Yeah.
Just kind of stewing on it. So I feel like we're not even really going to be able to proper sit and talk and break this down between each other for like another like half a week. And then we'll be like, okay, like, I've been thinking on it.
I'm meeting Lyra tonight. Hunter and me are going to drop the prints off. We signed the prints and whatnot, and we're going to have dinner at Cracker Barrel. So there's going to be, I'm going to have a nice, I fucking love Cracker Barrel.
I love Cracker Barrel. Every time I go to every stop I make to eat is at a fucking Cracker Barrel.
It's delicious.
It's so good.
I'm going to have a hearty dinner.
And like,
yeah. And I know that I'll have a good meal, and that will ground me, and then I can ask Lyra questions.
Okay.
And it will be good. And she'll probably ask me a lot because she's been itching to know shit too.
She's so sweet. Yeah. She sent me a message over the weekend, and she was like, "I'm so glad that you're doing this." And I just said really nice things. She's really good at expressing.
It's helped me really. It's changed my, like, I identify more with the Leo sign, you know, like a little bit. Like before, you know, because I didn't know anything, and you just kind of feel pigeonholed into your sun, you know, because that's what you are. But I relate a lot to the Leo rising sign. I think it explains a lot. I've always felt kind of Leo-y in how I look and act, and that's made me kind of. I don't know. I feel like I've like embraced a Leo side after all of this that I didn't even know existed.
You were saying when we recorded Charlie's, you were like, I'm really excited to get into the rising sign because you saw the rising like very clearly with Charlie, and then you were like, oh, there is a Pisces rising.
Yeah.
Called it, you know.
Well, and it seems, you know, they impact so much, but you just don't hear about them, and that's what's so interesting, you know, like.
Yeah, when we started
talking, you just get your sun or your moon.
When we were talking about, she was like, "We're gonna move into the rising sign." I was almost like, "Get ready, dude! This is what blew my dick off."
Yeah, the one, man.
Hold on.
That's why we have astrologers, right? Like, it wasn't until truly that I went to see an astrologer and she started breaking down my chart. Like, had done a ton of reading, but there is so much that I was just like, wow, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's changed a lot for me. I mean, admittedly, I came in pretty skeptical. Like, I mean, I'm just a skeptical person. I don't trust anybody. But it's kind of, and I'm that way anyway. I like to be shown, like, prove it, you know? And this has been very, very interesting. There really wasn't anything that we came across that didn't just make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were things that we talked about on both of our episodes, I guess, that made me go, okay, because I was already I don't want to say I wasn't skeptical, but I was already like, yeah, I'm down for that. I could go for that, sure, you know. But like, just this right on the nuggets, you know, is just, it's something like you said, I don't necessarily need to be reaffirmed. It's just when it happens, it's like, oh shit.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I forgot I believed in everything.
Yeah.
But I'm
my sweet rising girl.
That's the tagline. We believe in everything. Wow, shit. I don't know where to go from there, dude. But once again, I guess to just bookend, let us know, who are you? What do you do? And where can we find you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Amber Chaplin. I am a Pisces Sun, Cancer Rising, Leo Moon here in Ontario, Canada. And you can find me at amberenergyservices.com, or Amber Energy Services is my handle on Instagram. And I'm just Amber Energy on Facebook.
No services on Facebook.
No. Services on I'm also a bean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes!
hell yeah.
Yeah. Forgot to
Yeah.
I think you're going to get some beans too. I really do. Like, I think after, because I mean, if I'm trying to imagine, like, if I was listening to this episode and not creating it, it would make a lot of the fear element go away for me, because it's not easy for me to reach out, especially in something that I don't know how it goes. Now that I know that this is like how a reading goes, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I would do that. But sight unseen, being like, I don't know what I'm going to get into, so I do think I think it will help kind of demystify what goes on in a card reading.
It helps to kind of quell the fears maybe of somebody who is afraid of going into that like deeper, darker stuff, to be like, look, that is an option in like a whole other thing. But right now, let's just do this.
Yeah. This first one, we could just be light. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
It's nice for someone like me who doesn't like to delve into that stuff, without being prepared for it. Yeah, it's nice to know. It's like, all right, well, this reading is just going to kind of touch on this and this and this. If you want to get into the nitty gritty, let me know. And it's like, all right, I like that.
Because we can do that.
Because we can do that.
Well, I could accidentally reduce someone to tears questioning their existence and childhood trauma, and they're not prepared. Like, that's not very nice.
Well, and I think any kind of shadow work, you don't just need to trip and fall into it. It's like something you kind of prepare for and get yourself in a place. Like if I was to do a shadow reading, if I was to do a shadow reading, I would prepare probably for the whole day. I would 100%. Ground and, take a bath. Kind of prepare. It's just because just protect and whatnot a little bit. And it would be tough to be like, all right. Yeah. So we're just going to tell you everything why you have a hard time functioning as a person. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Let's get in it. It's like, if I wasn't prepared, be like, whoa.
Yeah. I definitely would cross out the rest of the day and be like, this is when I'm going to cry and cope. I'm just going to like play video games and eat fast food for the rest of the day so I cannot think about what just happened.
I like Macy. You're like, oh, Cancer Moon, protect. I just need to protect.
Immediately. It's like, I need to know what I'm getting into. Yeah, the severity of the emotion. How emotional are we getting? And can we dial that back just a little bit?
Yeah. And I need my privacy, so let's not go too deep.
Yeah,
but I also want tangible results because I need efficiency.
Yes, I also want tangible results. Well, one thing with the shadow readings that I do is I do offer tools. Like, I'm not just like telling you all your shit and then like, and go forth and enjoy. Like I do try to, after each part, because I do break them down into little parts through, is be like, this is something you could do to counterbalance this.
Nice.
For example, and stuff like that.
And to speak for her, and she didn't it helped Lyra tremendously. I noticed the change in her. She was very excited, and she was very practical about it. She said, even if nothing else, it's just a lens to look at me, and she was like, I like that I can do that, even if you want to say it's not real, you're thinking about it in a different way. Right. And that's okay. That's good, and I liked that.
Yeah.
So speaking of the services that you do offer, can you give us a little bit of a rundown?
Oh yeah.
On what we can what we can contact you for?
Well, birth chart readings right now, I am doing introduction to your birth chart. So that's like what we've done. Then I have the shadow work consultation, life purpose and path consultation. So that dives a little bit more into like, if you're trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? That's a great one to get because I can hone in on like your north node, your midheaven, all that kind of juicy stuff. And then I have your baby's birth chart as well. So
that's so cool. I've been thinking about that since and I have no intentions of having kids, but like for days, that's one of the things I was like, that is so cool. Mm-hmm. Like the next person I know who's having a baby, I want to do that and be like, look, even if you don't believe it, just listen. Yeah. It's probably good information for you to know about your child.
Absolutely. And especially because, with children, we're more so our moon and rising signs when we're younger than we are our sun signs even. So it's a really cool different spin on a reading. I'm that person, like I was my sister's birth partner. You best believe as soon as that baby came out, my sister was like, what's the rising sign? And on my phone. I was like, Virgo, we've got a Virgo. Like,
Oh my God.
and
That's awesome.
yeah, my other one of my other best friends gave birth about a month ago, and it was the same thing. She's like, first word, not the weight of the baby, the time.
Yeah, what's the time?
And I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like, so it's a great gift. I've had a lot of people buy them for like baby shower gifts and stuff like that. And then I also do a fuck ton of tarot. I have lots of different spreads. I have like specific spreads, general spreads. They're all on my website. I love doing tarot. All of my tarot readings are recorded. I don't generally do live ones, just because that's the way that I read tarot. I find when I read live, because I am so highly sensitive to everybody around me, like I'm a double water, I'm same as Lyra that way. I find my energy more efficient in reading when the other person's want is not pressing down on me. So I do them all by recordings, but I love that too, because you can listen to it over and over again. Yeah. And even, I've had people listen to it 6 months later and been like, oh my God, I just re-listened to that. That did happen. Like, so I like doing them that way. I am planning to offer astrological life coaching packages. Oh, thanks, Carly.
I got very excited.
That's interesting. Yeah. How does that work?
So I went to school for life coaching, so I am certified or whatever, but what I would do is coach you through your birth chart. So we would take a look at aspects in the birth chart and work through your birth chart with your standard life coaching. Like it would be like similar to that. However, it's like we have all this added knowledge to implement and use through the coaching process.
I want that.
So thank you. I'm really excited about it. I'm just coming up with like a program structure for it, because it's not really something you would book one appointment for, right? Like it would be like 4 appointments or whatever at least. So I'm building that, hopefully to be out by the end of this summer. And then I'm hoping to start a podcast that'll be called The Pisces Perspective later on in the summer as well. So those are, thank you, upcoming projects.
Hell yeah. Lots of irons. You're
busy.
Powerhouse, dude.
This has been such a good time. Like this has made me feel better about astrology for one. Like, but I've just enjoyed it. Like you're very pleasant, and like that's important for me. Like if I'm gonna have someone talk to me about me, and especially in things like more serious things like that, you're very comfortable to be around, and I think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It was easy for me to listen and be like, yes, I think you're a natural at it. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Thank you. That really means a lot. That's, making people feel comfortable and like helping them understand, maybe some of their behavior and stuff. And then I just want to like give tools and, send forth with information and move forward and have a whole new set of tools to use in their life. And that's, that's really why I do it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
What she said. Ditto.
Oh, ditto.
Ditto. Well, thank you for having me on. Also, I was so excited. I went to my friend who's another bean, and I was like, you're never going to guess what I got asked to do. And so, it was absolutely thrilling.
Well, and we've wanted to do this for so long.
So long.
Like we have been talking about doing this for actual years now, and it was just like, and you just like, it was just like so fortuitous, like you just you wrote, and I had been thinking, because Lyra had told me about you, and I kind of had like your name in the back of my mind, like, man, that's, we know tried and true, like that. Yeah. And then you wrote, and I was just like, what, how about this? Done. How about this thing that you didn't even ask for? How about you just do episodes with us? How's that?
No, that was awesome, because I had been meaning to email you guys for advertising for so long, but I was trying to wait for my website to get up and moving. And then I just was like, fuck it. I'm just going to email them and whatever. Like my website wasn't anywhere near done. I just like one day was like, I'm just going to do it right now.
Do it.
Yeah. I'm just going to do it. And so it worked out really well.
I feel good. I feel wrung out. I feel like a wrung out dish rag.
Yeah, for sure.
In a good way.
My face
and I'm just excited. Yeah, it does. And I'm excited to hear what people think, you know, like I really am. I'm excited for these to drop. I'm excited to read how many people are like, I thought so about our shit.
I'm also excited for like the beans who do go forth. And I highly suggest that if you're even thinking about doing a reading of this type, to go ahead and do it and hit up plug that website one more time.
Oh, it's amberenergyservices.com.
Yeah.
And it's up and running now. It went up over the weekend. I was
I
know. I was so happy. I was like, yes.
And if you're even thinking about it, just go ahead and do it. But what I'm really excited about is people when they post it on Facebook and be like, I had my reading and this was this and this was this. I'm just like excited for people to share if they feel like it, you know. So
people generally feel comfortable sharing their big three.
Yeah, nobody go posting pictures of your chart or anything.
Of your whole chart.
Yeah, no, I advise against it, honestly, truly. Yeah.
All right, well
I'm pleased as punch.
I'm sure I for one would love to have you back on the show at some point. We'll do something.
I think there's a lot we could talk about.
Not shadow readings, but something.
No.
Readings.
But like going into like retrogrades and shit like that, or anything, you know,
episodes. There's like so much stuff we could do, like, you know, Chiron episodes, retrograde
big
episodes.
ass like when there's the big like moon eclipses lined up with other shit that's important, you know.
We just had a ton of them too. I don't think we're seeing any more till December.
Ooh, sounds like the perfect time.
Yeah. Actually, there's a big. Yeah, I'll email you. I'll look into it because there's a big square happening then too. So it'd be a good time.
And then I'll learn what that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an ad.
All right. Well, thank you once again, and we'll catch you next time on wbah. For like, you know, answer honestly with me here. Just don't spare our feelings. How long does a normal reading like that usually take? It can't be 3 hours every time, is it?
45 minutes to an hour.
It's okay.